started.
Okay,
Oh Lord.
so last week, Noctum took matters into his own hand and fed uh, the mayor, Mayor Blanchard,
I gotta feed
to
that
his
mimic thing.
mimic. I mean,
He's
that's
gonna get
true. You do
hungry.
got to feed him something. Um, so yeah, you fed the mayor to the mimic, and then you literally just disappeared into the swamp, and then went into a cave and passed out. So the rest of you, this is let's see. So this is 3 days after the big battle at Kaime. Noctum went out yesterday with Maxine, who you remember is the necromancer lady, to go
Right.
and loot
Get the bell.
the cathedral and get the bell. And Maxine comes back uh, alone, well, alone with the undead, both undead cavalry units, and she arrives at the Kaime mayor's mansion, and she looks around. She finds who's around.
Definitely persistence.
Okay, so
Um,
she'll
Definitely
yeah, persist.
Jacques.
Yeah. So are you guys together, like planning the march on Bateau, I
we
believe?
could be like the servants would
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
definitely, if she's back, like
Mm-hmm.
there's probably like, yeah, as soon as Lord Noctum and Maxine are back, come get Jacques and I, and then
Yeah.
I can gather up everybody else from there.
Uh, so yeah, so you guys walk into the room where she's been waiting for you guys, and she looks over to you and says, "We have a problem."
Oh, well, it's good to see you as well.
That
What's
doesn't
what's the
sound.
problem?
That does not sound like reassuring news. Everything went well at the cathedral, I would hope.
Oh, everything went splendidly at the cathedral. We razed that place to the ground. I collected many corpses for my experiments that I'm sure you'll be very happy to see the results of at some later date. I've got a whole baggage train of loot here for you. Um, but uh, how do I put this? Count. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Or yeah, Count
She
Noctum.
knows him as. Does she know him as Count Noctum, or does
I
she
think
only know him as like
she
analyst?
initially met him as Nettalis Toctum, but I think during the exchange, like on the road to
I would have also told her before she
the
gets in a
cathedral.
in a carriage with him.
Yeah. So they met in the carriage ride. They had a whole like days worth of carriage ride because it's like 50 miles to um the
Yeah.
cathedral.
Mhm.
So that's like a full day's ride even on a horse. Like it's even like an extra. It's like a 9 hour horse ride, which is fine because they've got undead mounts, so they can just keep going. Yeah, it doesn't matter the twists and turns because it's a pretty direct route. Um, so yeah, it's a full 9 hour journey there and a 9 hour journey back, even on horseback. Um, and so yeah, so she does this. It's Count Noctum evidently took a dislike to Mayor Blanchard's uh, ambitions and executed him with one of his creatures.
Dude, what?
Uh, well,
Elijah
I
starts
blame
chuckling on the ceiling.
I blame
Oh,
myself
hello.
partially. Yes, no, Elijah. Is there like a servant here to hear this, or would I have dismissed? If there's still a servant in the room, I would like go and fetch Lady Aerith and
They're
Corporal.
they're waiting like outside, so they're like, cause like she knew that this was going to be a sensitive conversation, so she would wait it until you guys were alone in the room.
Yeah, I poke my head out and say, "Can you please go and catch Lady Aerith?" What is Minx's rank again? Is it corporal, captain?
Uh,
Bandmaster.
his military rank?
Yeah. What would persistence use as his to like respectful rank?
I mean, it would just be major. He would
Major.
say
So
major. I mean, that's not his draconic rank, but that's good enough.
yeah, Lady Aerith and Major Major Minx, please close
Major
the door
Tom.
again. Well, that is unfortunate. It's much sooner than we were expecting. Elijah, how go your preparations and how quickly can they be accelerated?
Not that fast. I'll I'll do my best. And do you need me for any of this?
We're
Not a bad time to pick the jug with water in it.
as soon as yes, as soon as Minx is here, if you can please coordinate with Minx, Elijah. I believe that the two of you are best suited for making sure that we do not lose control of the Via Planche militias. I know that
Of
you're the
course.
most aware of the situations on the ground with the populace, and you already had some ideas for it. And then Minsk is Minsk. The main priority right now is we need to solidify control of the military forces that he bought that are not already under Maxine's control. Maxine, you are to tell no one of this, obviously.
Of course.
We are more than happy to give you whatever resources you need for the your experiments with further undead. We are going to need them for our coming siege. Uh, Let us know whatever you require for that, and I will make sure that you get it in exchange for this, keeping this quiet and remaining loyal to our cause.
Hmm. You're a most generous employer.
Also, Maxine, while we're waiting, I mean, nothing else we can really do at this moment. Have you seen the tree yet?
What tree is that? I mean, there's lots
Yes,
of
what
trees
tree is
around.
that, Elijah?
My tree, the one I told you about. Because remember, I talked to her about meeting up with
You talked to
my
Oh
her.
gardener.
yeah.
Yeah, the Tree of Might.
I did not remember that. Have you shown her? Like, have you actually gone there, or have you? When
No,
did
I
you
told
tell
her
her
to meet
to?
up with the gardener.
Oh, okay. Uh, no, she just got here. So she got here, fought in the battle, and then headed off to the cathedral. So no, she has not had time to go and see it yet.
You really should go see it when you have time. It's coming along beautifully.
Hmm. Well, I don't have anything to do right now unless you have a task for me, so I could go do that now if you'd like.
Between that and making sure your troops are under control, that's all we need at the moment.
She holds up Tenelis's ring and a little amulet that she's got. She says, "Oh yes, I've got everything under control."
Good. Elijah, I need to ask: is this tree going to be a liability for us?
If it is, I burn it down.
Not exactly what I was asking, but okay, I will take that as an affirmative response. Uh, well then, and I wait until Minsk and Arif get here, and I would dismiss Maxine. It's like, you can, unless you would like to stay to add further or converse on this, you're free to go. And again, let us know whatever you need. Uh,
Hmm.
the sooner that we can get new units raised from your corpses, then the sooner that we can march in whole. So those are definitely a priority for us. Let the quartermaster know if you need anything.
I will, if
Very
you'll
good.
excuse me.
Yes. I would love it if she opens the door and leaves right as Aerith comes in.
Yeah, I mean that can happen.
Why?
Because I know you don't like her.
Aerith
She gives you a rise.
visibly sucks on her teeth as she walks by and just like, hate this bitch.
She gives you a taunting smile.
Listen, you might be a foot taller than me, ho, but I'll take you out of your knees. Let's go. She doesn't say that, but
Okay.
she's thinking it.
She thinks it very loudly.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Her
looks
grin
could kill, Maxine would be in the
widens.
ground.
She does brush her hand lightly against her mace or her warhammer on her side, and walks in.
As soon as the door closes, I'm just gonna say we'll skin Noctum alive, whatever's left on those bones.
I'm not sure if he has enough to skin. And it appears he's also not going to be here for a while. I hope that when he does return, it's with enough more new forces to justify this little
Of
escapade.
sense to.
We
All
were
right,
going.
what?
We were
What
going to
did
I
he
feel
kill.
need?
half of the time. I feel half the time that we spend planning now needs to be made to figure out how we execute our objectives, and then what to do when Noctum is involved.
To be fair, if we would have kept Noctum in the loop about our plans to take care of the mayor eventually, he might not have acted on his own. So I take responsibility for that lapse of judgment. Uh, but yes, it is unfortunate.
Lapse in judgment. How long has it been since we had the discussion?
What discussion is this?
Uh,
Minx is gonna ask just as he arrives.
yeah, come in,
Gareth is
close the
also
door.
standing very confused at the door, like, what?
So apparently on their way to loot the cathedral, which went well. We've received all of the spoils. Noctum has taken the bell to Noctum, and Maxine has returned with enough corpses that she should be able to raise more units for us. So all of that went according to plan. The only hiccup being that apparently Noctum fed the mare to his mimic while en route.
Elijah
Jock is sitting.
continues to
Jock is
chuckle on the
sitting
ceiling.
down, head in his hands.
So Minsk, Elijah already has some plans underway. We were going to take the mayor out of the picture eventually. He's far too much of a schemer and does not align with the future interests of the New Dawn. As believe I was going to ask your opinion when we got closer to this, but what was Lady Aerith, Major Minsk? What were your opinions on the mayor?
I mean, he is the ultimate of imperialists. He is willing to make any sort of deal in order to further himself. He didn't even seem to mind too much once we had his children. So I was certainly of the mind to have him replaced, but he was very useful in the meantime. So this is ahead of schedule, as you say, but
Yes,
something we must now deal with.
yes, and I do want to assure you we were not trying to keep you out of any loop on this. We were definitely going to consult with you before making such a choice. This is Noctum operating on his own. So, immediate tasks. Jock and I will handle the routine preparations for the coming Salt and Bateau. Aerith, I need you to take care of the mayor's children and family. Keep them safe and secure. We will likely need to ship them off somewhere far away from here so they cannot be a further liability in acting
And
against us in
when
revenge for killing their
they
father.
persistence, and when they start asking, what answer are we going to give? What
I am going
lie
to
are
tell
you
them
going to
the
say
truth.
to those two about what happened?
But the mayor is currently indisposed, and we will, and he is.
Like,
What a fancy word for
no,
digested.
no. If we're gonna tell him anything, we're gonna tell him the truth.
If you
That
believe
They're
he
that's
was
kids.
wise,
eaten by their
No.
supposed allies? Might I suggest a minor twisting of the truth? I mean, we can come out and say
Golf
that unless he was eaten by a mimic, but do we need to say the mimic was also the pet of one of our most esteemed military allies in this moment? Beyond that, I would certainly suggest that the daughter, who is obviously enamored with the dialectic, be sent to the UDDC so she may further her education there. I
Right,
do suppose in the meantime she will have no questions but to learn more about the world.
right, but
be
you're gonna separate the girl and the boy.
Yeah.
all right.
out of the
We are
question.
getting ahead of
No,
ourselves. Aerith, the reason why we cannot tell the family the truth is we need to keep the truth under wraps until we can take care of the commanders. We are not going to tell the family that their patriarch has been murdered until that will not lead to unrest within our military position. We cannot. And he sort of just gives
how,
Aerith a
and
look.
there is the problem. All right, I understand. You have it is a logical sense, a logical argument that you put in front of this. We need Villaplanche's military. The problem you don't understand, or is maybe not seen at the moment, is Blanchard's wife is a conniving woman, more so than he was. Now, the alliance reliability is tenuous at best with this, and I will simply ask Elijah this. He has an idea of it as well. How often do the Alvarez involve or institute mimics to remove enemies?
Rarely, but we do it.
Enough to where a mimic would be put in the cathedral?
Well, no, not that often.
Precisely. How much of a story are you able to tell Persistence to ensure that if she dies, that if he's dead, and they find that out, that it's the enemy or a mimic that killed him that was in the cathedral for safeguarding?
Sir, I am not a spy. I am not specialized in espionage. If you wish to see the wife as a further threat, we can eliminate her as well, although that would make things
And leave
messy.
children orphans.
We are not making children orphans. That is not what this was all set out to do.
I'm. I. It's kind
Eh,
of what war is.
we have
That's
killed many
true.
Between
soldiers.
war and what just happened at the cathedral.
It's different. War, they died on a battlefield.
I guess I
They
would look at
died.
Minsk and just like, why does that matter?
I Mix. I mean, he just
No,
has a kind of like a little shrug and waves
I
it off.
wasn't
Like,
done.
I'm not getting into this.
They died on a battlefield. They didn't. They weren't murdered because, oh, sorry, one of our number murdered your husband, so we gotta murder you too. Leave your kid. That's fucking.
They
Spoke
died on a
of
battlefield
him
because we met them on a battlefield. If we hadn't met them on a
persistence.
battlefield, they would have
Are
killed
you
us
gonna
in our
hand her a
homes.
weapon?
Persistence.
They fought
We
back, Persistence. Or what are we gonna do? Hand her a weapon and have her fight you? Or me?
persistence. We agreed. We stated to not have them killed. That they would be sent somewhere where they would pose no threat but remain living. I understand wars and battles create orphans out of the soldiers that go. Do you believe that what happened with the mayor counts as battle, as war?
So look,
Hey,
it's
look,
just
That is
like
murder.
I have no problem leaving the wife alive as long as she is kept in a place where she cannot harm our interests. You brought
As
up that she might be a liability. I am asking if you want to do anything about that liability. If the answer is no, then I will leave it at
she
that.
will, then she will need to be sent away. And in all reality, now the children can be sent as well. Them being here is a danger to them. Near us, near the front, is a danger to them. They deserve safety to allow themselves a life to grow. What we promise others in this movement. Send them to the UDDC. Allow the daughter to be able, allow Julianne to be able to learn more of what she has become fascinated by. Do not split them. Do not separate this family further now than we have already irrevocably done.
I agree. That was my second point. Is we're not splitting the kids. No way.
I did not recommend two. If Minsk feels that the family would be better served by being sent in full to the UDDC, I have no objections to that. I propose the Sarius because it is a more diverse locale where they might have different niches that they could find. I was trying to be more accommodating for their potential interests, but if the UDDC is what we agree to send them to, I have no objections.
I'd rather send the kids to my temple and send the wife somewhere else, but I don't want to split them up either, I guess.
Then,
I just,
Aerith, can you handle that? Can you handle getting
We
the
are
remaining family out?
I can try. I can't be opening up gates like I did last time, but
We just need a ship and a willing crew.
oh, I know plenty of those.
I leave that to your capable hands.
now simply to the next point to allow ourselves to continue to think towards the war that we are now continuing forward. We now need an immediate move to ensure Villaplanche's forces stay with us.
And
The removal of Blanchard's wife and Julian and I think what his name is Gideon.
who, yeah, oh, I forget who the kid's name is.
It's me, Crazy Gideon.
Gabriel, I think.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
That
Both the boys have G.
we
So
can
Chuckles.
we
Yeah.
can state that there we can state to the forces that through some
Elijah, if you could stop
unforeseen
ripping hot cotton on the ceiling. It's starting to
some
rain.
unforeseen forces and tragic events robbed us of Mayor Blanchard. We are moving his family to safety now from any future threats. Who were the
Right.
candidates that we had in mind to lead Villaplanche's army?
Thuram, I know that you had said who the commanders were, but I'm not finding it in the. Oh no, I know that's organizations. Montalban.
Yeah, it should be under NPCs, and it's
Yep,
they're probably still listed in Villa Blanche.
yep, they are. I was looking. I was looking at
Okay.
organization, unfortunately. So,
Hmm.
I'm gonna
uh,
lie. If we're thinking about lies to tell the men about what happened to the mayor, didn't that and she makes the face of utmost disgust. Didn't that woman um say that they razed that place to the ground?
they raised the cathedral to the ground.
And it could
So
be that he was caught in the collateral, and then we ensure that not Maxine. We can get her silent. She wants to continue on her experiments. That can be given. Noctum likes to drop things casually in conversation, so we will need to ensure that none of this information of what happened leaves this room.
Might I suggest that the story is a bit more that Alvarez, known for their assassins and known for harboring grudges against traitors, might have had him killed, and alas, you are unable to save him as they struck in the midst of the battle at the cathedral?
I think that is what.
Would make
Can
the
we put
most
you on that?
sense.
Minx, can you please spread that information to the troops? And while you are doing that, Elijah, if you can identify the four commanders who are currently Dominique Waganier, Christophe Touchard, Napoleon Lebas, and Manuel Longchavon. Uh, if you can identify which of those four are going to be potential liabilities, identify potential assets that are currently in Viaplanche that would be sympathetic to our cause, especially Minsk's ideology, and see who needs to be replaced and how quickly, one from with the other.
Absolutely. May I also recommend sending word to the guild leader of the city and installing him as the interim mayor as
P-
quickly as possible?
Please let Minx
I
know who needs to have the information as quickly as possible.
and then when needed, I can make a travel to Villaplanche to meet the guild leader in person.
Yes,
Good.
let's put together an honor guard for that immediately. We're not going to send any of the Via Planche militia. We're going to want to send our own men with you just in case. Let's see, what?
I think
That's
you'll like him.
the New Dawn units. Who do we
Be right back.
have that's mustered? That's good at. Minsk, are any of your Dragonborn, do they have diplomatic training? Like, if we sent them along with Jacques on their off time, would they be able to help sort of spread our message at the local taverns and such? Or would you recommend what units would you recommend for that?
I'm going to be very honest. The Marines are definitely not diplomats, and the Chainbreakers are made up from many, many units, as they are the reconstituted slaves that we freed, after all. I would suggest them more than the Marines because at least they can speak to the villainy that they had suffered, and they are proof that one can break their chains and rise up and be successful.
Can you make it clear to them that when we send them the Via Planche, that there's to be no hostility towards the citizenry there, despite them being Alvarez citizens, and that we need their assistance in order to further this war effort?
Uh, I could certainly do this, but I think you are somewhat mistaking the. vision that this gives, that we are sending Dragonborn to them at this time with this message, would it not make a bit more sense if we are truly playing this off as being concerned and we want them to see that we are more friendly, that we send demi-humans or one of our other units who are truly and completely unaware of what we are doing?
Could we send the rebel longbowmen, Elijah's cohorts? I'm not sure. They're not an infantry regiment.
I mean, are we sending them because we believe Villaplanche will rise up?
No, we need to send. You want to send, when you send a diplomat, you want to send them with an honor guard, so they have some, pomp and presence when they're visiting a location. And then, as a side bonus, when they commiserate with the locals, we want to put a positive impression forward.
And but I believe all of our main forces are about to be tied up in the siege, are they not?
This will not take a whole week to do. This will be 2 days of a trip, and we are not ready to mobilize yet.
In that case, then probably it would be best to send the chain breakers and make it clear this is as they're on the march. They are not there to be peacekeepers. It is just a visit, like you said.
Yes. Okay. So I believe that's those two immediate orders of business taken care of. Is everybody clear on next steps for the immediate future? Are there any other matters, any other crises that have occurred within the last 24 hours that need to be addressed?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, good. Well, uh,
Oh, I did have a quick comment before.
yes, please.
It came to my attention that you had executed the stormtroopers.
Yes, we had initial interrogation of them. Honestly, I was hoping that Jacques would be able to, since they surrendered to us, that they uh, might have seen the error of their ways and might be amenable to joining us and switching sides. But it seems that the only reason that they switched was that they saw this as an internal struggle within two noble houses of the Empire that they didn't wish to participate in, and they had sat out because they deemed it no longer served the interests of the Empress. Uh, there was no way that they were going to help with our side. We are not going to barter with them as prisoners, and honestly, keeping that many vampires contained for any length of time is far too much of a liability. We need to be able to focus our perceptions elsewhere. So, yes, we took care of the matter.
I think you misunderstood a bit. I didn't really worry in that sense. It was more that I feel like it was a waste to be done with them so quickly. I mean, you could have them dragged out into the light. We could set up trials. We could make it clear that these people will die very easily still. I mean, you wasted so much potential. I mean, just poof, done. In a moment,
If
there
we
was very much a good propaganda potential we missed out on there.
if we were more if we were planning to stay in this position for longer, then yes, I believe that would have been the case, but we need to mobilize quickly, and I did not feel that we had the time to make a proper political show of it.
You're right. So
I
long as
do,
in the future you think of me first.
of course, and we did. The elves. Oh, by the way, good news I have to show you. Look at the banner that we had made, and I hold up a Jacques' new command banner that has I had the elves make it with the big symbol of the new dawn, and then flanking it are the two preserved wings of the angel that we killed.
That is definitely a very, very noticeable, good war banner. Da.
Yes. Uh, yes, when we have the time and we can do things like this, I do agree that this is that is preferable. It's just there are different priorities at the moment. I did not feel we could utilize the prisoners as fully as we could if the circumstances were different, and there are other things that we need to focus on. To to be quite honest, I'm surprised that we held them in that cell for as long as we did.
That is fair. All right. Well, I cannot think of anything else at this moment. But shall I be off then to Via Plunge and see what I can do?
Spread the word locally first, and then we'll prepare get a contingent ready, and we'll send you, Jacques, and Eliza to Via Planche.
Very well.
All right, and break.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do first?
I mean, I imagine we need to get the family out of there before the wife can start shit. Because
Mhm.
I would really hate to have to kill the wife.
Well, I wouldn't think that she would know that there is shit to start quite yet.
Well, if you're getting ready to spread the news, like, we need to have her out and gone before that news is started.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, I think Minx would be waiting for that to be happening before he's worried about the risk of it spreading.
Yeah. So.
So you want to go to Villa Planche before you make the announcement that the mayor has been assassinated?
I mean, how likely would we assume, like, how many living soldiers were sent to the cathedral? How suspicious is it that the mayor hasn't, now that the rest of the units have come back report? Like, I imagine that there's enough weird stuff, like Noctum and the mayor both didn't come back, that we might be able to play it off, but otherwise we have a very short time window before rumors start,
Hmm.
and we want to get ahead of it before
Yeah.
the rumors.
Yeah, well, you specifically didn't send any living soldiers to the cathedral. It's all undead.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that front. The mayor not coming back with the troops is somewhat suspicious. Um, you're right about that. Um, so if you want to try and like, you basically you've got to decide how do you want to stop people from becoming suspicious, or do you just want to let them like keep them in the dark? Just let
Honestly,
things go as they may.
I would, and persistence would leave this to Aerith to decide, but Lev would hope that Aerith would immediately, like, sending to whoever she needs to do a sending to get a ship to meet them at Marana, and then just march, get the wife and the kids and move them to Marana, and once they're ready to be put on a boat and far enough away where they're not going to hear it, then have Minx release the news and, like, maybe take a day at most to do all that.
Yep, that was my
Okay.
plan. Not in so
Okay.
many words, but yeah.
So the kids are easy because they're here in Kaime with you. The wife is going to be a little bit harder because you have to get to Villaplanche and back. So that is possible to do within a day, I believe. Yeah, because it's a nine. It would be a 4.5 hour journey there with your carriage, and you've got plenty of horses. And then a 4.5 hour journey back.
Okay,
I can
so
go on that too.
yeah, is
So it's
she? So is the plan, though, that we're going to go and kidnap her by force and put her on the boat? I forgot she wasn't in Kaime. I don't know why I thought the mayor had brought her with. I don't know why I thought that. To, like, see
yeah.
her kids because they were here. Like, I don't know why I
Well,
imagined that.
somebody needs to run the town while he's away.
No, no, I get that. So we can probably.
My plan was not to kidnap her. My plan was to, since I'm obviously not human, we can't take our cart into Villapage. Are we in trouble for
Uh,
being
that is correct. The
House of Dumont?
House Dumont coach is currently under suspicion. So if you run into any forces loyal to the Count, you will be in trouble. Uh, but if you're in Villaplanche, which is nominally controlled by friendly forces, you should be okay. You also don't. You also have other carts if you just want to take a regular carriage.
Honestly,
I
if.
was going to dress up as a veiled servant, um, and just have Elijah forge a note from the mayor summoning his wife, and I would be there to escort her back.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Earth
reasonable plan.
does put forth that too.
Uh,
Okay.
I would say that's great.
Persistence.
I would only add have Elijah tag along, so as soon as the wife is gone, Elijah can start picking the people who we want as replacements.
Absolutely. Elijah and I can hang out. Elijah, do you need a good talking to? Do you need me to come give you some straight life wisdom? Do you need some cheering up?
I mean,
What do we
Would you
need?
like to
he's
talk
probably
about how
underneath the
killing the?
cart.
Would you like to talk about how killing the wife and children will be simpler?
I don't disagree about the wife, but like the children
Yep.
pass.
I will. Then we have
I
nothing to talk about.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like we talk about something else. So tell me, what's your favorite way to kill a person?
Quickly.
Ugh, that's boring. It's just Erin trying to get Elijah to
You've
tell her something cool.
you guys have a 4.5 hour cart ride, so
It's just
it'll
It's
be a
Erin
long
bad.
one.
blabbering, asking him random pointless questions.
Okay, so you're going with
No.
the present a forged note plan.
Yes, Elijah, I need you to forge a note, please.
Hey, Elijah, I'll need you to make your roll then.
Earth, you have interacted with him and his family more than I have. Do you mind watching over my shoulder to assist me with this? You know how he would speak.
I, I gotcha.
That's how I get my advantage.
Yep.
Alright, I'm
um,
back. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna say Dex for this. Nice little sleight of hand roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you're
It's what?
proficient with forger's tools, right?
I am within 4 hours. Yes,
Oh, okay.
I can literally I can be
Right.
proficient in any skill I want.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and you have samples of his handwriting from letters that he wrote to you guys. So you're able to forge a short letter bidding her come visit with him and the kids in Kaime now that it's safe. Um, and you guys uh, ride in your cart for the 4 hours, and you arrive, I guess. Uh, you're setting out immediately, right? Basically, as soon as I'm trying to figure out the timeline here. It's like when you arrive, because Maxine and Noctum set out on the 57th, and then which was a full day's ride, and so then they raided the town overnight, and then they rode back, or Maxine rode back alone overnight, so she would have gotten there in the morning. So, uh, assuming you didn't need to do that that long rest to become proficient with forger's tools, you would be getting there at like 2 in the afternoon or so on the current day, the 58th.
I don't even need a long rest.
Oh, you just need a short rest.
I don't even think I need I need a rest in between uses. I don't think I have to be taking a rest when I use it. Let me double check that. Whenever you finish a short or long. So yeah, I just need a
Oh,
short. So
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
within an hour, I can swap that proficiency all over the place.
okay, cool. Um, that's very useful for this kind of campaign, where you've got time to do
Extremely,
that.
especially once I get that level 11 skill where I can just swap that out all over the place and
Yeah,
then have
so
reliable talent and everything.
yep. So yeah, so you guys get there about 2 in the afternoon. Um, Aerith, you said you're disguising yourself as what
A
exactly?
veiled servant.
A
So
veiled.
I've been reading a lot of like fantasy books right now. I'm in like I'm reading assassin books right now, and she just has a veil over her face. It is a like a vow situation. Like she does not show her face,
Oh,
but
I
she
see.
does. Yeah, she's covered head to toe.
Okay.
Very spooky. Very like I would almost say necromantic looking.
Uh-huh.
But she would never stoop so low.
Right, of course.
Everything she despises.
Okay. So you arrive in Villa Planish about 2 in the afternoon, and how do you approach the guard out front?
So who all is there?
I think it's
Just
just
us.
Aerith and Elijah.
Okay.
Just 2 steps away from being as bad as just Tentalis. Um, she would open the cart like window
Mm-hmm.
and flash the mayor's seal on the
On the envelope. Okay.
envelope, and she would say, "I come bearing a letter for the
Uh,
mayor's wife."
oh, yep, that looks like the mayor's seal. All right, let me just deliver that.
No,
And
unfortunately, the mayor has asked me to do it myself, if you don't mind.
hmm, I'll have to escort you.
That is understandable.
Right. So he leads you into the now familiar mansion, um, to a small office where the mayor's wife is working on some paper or another. And she looks up and says, "But I wasn't expecting company. What's this?"
Apologies, madam. I come bearing a letter from your husband.
Uh, what? It's money roll. Oh, this is Elijah. Okay. She takes the letter and she reads it. She's gonna make an insight check. Okay. She says,
Oh
"Oh,
no.
that's lovely. I'm so glad to hear that the battle went well. I've been missing my children dearly these past few weeks."
Of
Uh,
course, my lady. We ask, your husband asks, and by extension, the rest of us ask, that you join us and be reunited with your children, at least for the moment, and then you can return to your duties as you see fit, madam.
yes, a day trip
What?
sounds lovely. I was just feeling a bit overwhelmed with work, what with my husband gone and all. Um, I think a day trip to Kaime sounds lovely.
Of course, the carriage is outside waiting for you.
After you.
Of course. And she bows and she steps out.
Okay. She will follow you.
And we get in the carriage and we go. We did
Yep,
it.
you did it. She's going. Um,
And we didn't kill anyone or find an underground fight ring.
yes.
Not
Uh,
yet.
Yet.
not yet.
Not yet.
Give it time.
So you've got 4 hours with Alexia in this carriage. So what do you talk about with her?
She would fill her in on her children. Like how well their
What do you?
studies are coming along.
How do you feel
You
about
know,
mimics?
no,
How do
how,
I feel about mimics? That's a strange question.
no,
I
yeah,
hope
she
it's not
talked about
apropos of anything.
not at all. Why would it be? Mimics are such a fascinating topic.
Why would it be indeed? Why, I wager there's not a mimic for 100 miles.
Alright, well,
The Empire is very good about this sort of thing.
how many miles is
The couch laughs. Thanks.
Castle
Yeah,
Nocturne?
remember the carriage it still has mimic in it.
No, the carriage doesn't have mimic. This, well, did
Did
Nocturne
anyone?
take his
Did
mimic with
anyone?
him?
No.
Oh, he did a teleport thing.
He did a teleportation circle, which I
Well,
think
this is
lets you bring
the
things with
No,
you.
he took it with him. I'm
Did
pretty
he?
Oh,
sure
are
he
you
was
paying
talking about
attention?
having the minion with him. Wasn't that a thing?
He took his guys with him.
He
I'm
took
not
his
sure if he
zombies, yeah.
specifically took the mimic with him.
I don't think he took a mimic. I don't know that he took
We
the
also
mimic with
would
him.
not have sent the mimic, the cart with the mimic in it.
Yeah,
That
I'm
would
gonna
not have been
assume.
sent.
I
Yeah,
thought
I was gonna
he
assume that.
took
Yeah.
the mimic because we made the conversation about it has to eat something while he was under doing the
I
thing.
don't want to say anything because it enhances the paranoia.
There's no paranoia. Like you said, we would have checked the cart beforehand.
But would we have? Well, yeah, because
If Maxine is like,
there was
Hey,
a
come
witness.
on. Yeah, there was
yeah,
a witness to the mimic eating someone. I'm positive we would have checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maxine would have told you which cart had the mimic in it if there was still a mimic in it.
all right.
Um,
Was there a mimic in it?
I don't remember Cell taking the mimic with him, so I think there was.
All right.
Which honestly actually could be a very useful tool for later. We'll see how you use
Ah,
it.
gods. Is
This is
it
a
tame
mystery mouse
without him though, or
Cthulhu.
do we just kill it? Like, I'm
Is it
not
a
sure if I
mystery
want this thing
mouse
around.
tool?
Oh, I think it's wonderful to
Thank
have
you
around.
for laughing at my joke.
Elijah, if you think it's wonderful to have around, you can be in charge of it.
It is a secret.
Agreed.
Figure
Not.
out
Uh,
later.
I have other things to worry about besides this damn murderous couch.
Speaking of which, the plan was for Elijah to drop off the carriage whenever they were there and like go do what he needed to do,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's dropped off. Okay.
Okay. So you're stealthing around Villaplanche. But I want to have this conversation between Aerith and Alexia.
Oh my god.
Because I know, because you haven't done very much talking over the past few sessions.
Nope, not at all. I'm a little rusty.
Yeah. I believe this is what is known as is it dramatic irony or dramatic tension?
One of those.
Yeah.
Do some poetic irony.
So do you reveal that you are one of the like main conspirators? Do you show your face and all, or do you try to remain veiled and just like blend in as a servant?
I mean, I feel like the less she feels threatened,
Mm-hmm.
the better. Because we are going to ship her away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know that we are the ones that kidnapped her children
Mm-hmm.
Liberated.
and liberated her children.
Liberated.
The children will
Love
greet
it.
us as liberators.
I am a fan
Uh,
of calling it. Ooh.
and that's not super great. Like, I would not. I as me would not feel great just like sitting for 4 hours with one of the people that took my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
Yeah, but
think
she doesn't know that necessarily.
yes, she does. She saw me. I didn't have my helmet on, and I'm blue.
You.
Oh, in that sense, I get you.
Um, and here I am just a soft-spoken servant. Um, and that way she can be a little more at ease, not knowing that Elijah's crawling around on the bottom. Like, oh no, Elijah left.
Elijah's gone.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just the two of you and I guess the driver.
yeah. Yeah, she would just keep it as a veiled servant. She
Also,
wants to put this woman at ease.
the driver is in fact Arballs, just in case.
Nice.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. Um,
Yeah, I wasn't gonna leave her alone with someone that is that conniving.
And it also gives me sort of a advantage, right? Because if she does something conniving, she expects a soft-spoken servant, when in fact I will just roast her with Skyfire.
right.
Murder.
Okay. Um, so she does ask about the kids and stuff and tries to engage you in conversation.
I do
Uh,
respond. I'll tell
okay.
her about the kids. And
Can you make a like either deception or disguise or something along those lines to see how well you can pretend to be a servant? Deception is probably the best.
do I get advantage? I have a good.
From what?
I'm going to message it to you. Um,
What does that mean?
It's
That means that we
probably
get to
something
just.
secret from her character background.
Possibly.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, I'll give you advantage for that. That seems.
woo!
I like
Oh.
It's
I like
juicy.
I like the risk reward on that.
All right. Okay. She's not a good liar. It's gonna be a
No.
straight roll. She has a +0.
Two
Oh,
straight rolls. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
that's an 11. It's better than a 10.
11.
What? 11 out of 10.
Oh, how average.
Right? She's a mediocre liar.
Yeah.
How astoundingly average, in fact.
It do be that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Do I want to show you the roll, or do I want to roll it behind the curtain?
Behind the curtain, make it mysterious.
Don't let her know what the character knows and all that. That's
Yeah.
it's no fun.
Okay. I rolled it behind the curtain. Now I need to figure out what she's gonna do based on this. Um,
Should Aerith roll insight so that she can know if she knows that she knows that she knows?
do you
Ooh.
want to try and insight her and see if she notices anything off?
Yeah. I roll.
Okay.
I have a pretty good insight.
That was a joke, but okay.
I'm in 11.
Oh,
Woo!
continues to be just
Wow.
middle of the road.
Mediocre.
You can smell
Okay.
the pumpkin spice in the air.
How dare you? It's sea salt caramel, thank you.
Oh, and you've got a +8 to insight too.
I meant to not understand how this situation is coming along. I
Uh-huh.
told you I did too many speeches last time.
Yeah.
All of it's gone. This is it. You're just getting a mediocre performance
Uh-huh.
as I recharge. Get
By the way,
out.
thank you for saying sea salt caramel, because I do have some ice cream somewhere and I forgot where I put it.
Oh, you were
Should-
about to say, I do have some vape liquid.
You should bring
I
me some.
hope you put it in the freezer.
I don't think I did.
Well, you've got soup.
Mmm, sea salt soup.
I have some vape juice. I have some sea salt caramel vape juice.
I've had sea salt caramel vape juice. It's pretty good. Anyways,
Um, so I'm trying to determine how to communicate what I want.
just
And
say it. That's the best way to communicate.
yeah, but I want to be as mysterious as possible.
Mysterious.
Um, so she seems to be acting completely normally. Like you sense that maybe she seems to be acting uh, like she's a little bit curious as to who exactly you are and what your relation is to the new dawn. So she's asking you about all those details, and you had some prepared, so you're able to do that, and you're using your special advantage, so she can't suss you out from some of these other things, from something else that might give you away. Um,
Fact that I'm blue, but you
yeah,
can't
the
see
fact
that,
that
so
you're
it's fine.
blue. Um, but you are talking for a while, and you you just get a subtle feeling that something is wrong, like you're being watched.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that for me.
hmm
Oh,
Like you have that experience, like in a movie where like the person who you're talking to or the character is talking to kind of like fades into the background, and the main character is looking around them like there's something out there, and then like you look out the window and you don't see anything, and then all of a sudden the person you're talking to kind of breaks back in to the quiet, the ominous
yes.
quiet that it
There's
was.
some
You have
thing
that
on the
experience,
wing. Something on the wing.
but in real life it's very strange.
Mm.
It's like, is everything all right?
I suddenly feeling a little antsy, my lady.
Hmm. Well, I mean, we are in a something of a war zone, so I suppose that's to be expected, really.
I'm
Can
going to gently reach up and knock twice on the wall behind me because I'm assuming I'm sitting with my back to the driver.
right.
I'm
So
going
I
to
assume this is a prearranged signal to Arbaz or something.
yes.
Okay. And what is it a prearranged signal for? Signal for?
Uh, uh Keep your
Kill the
eyes open,
wife.
like
Red alert.
oh god.
Red alert.
Just sort of yeah, sort of keep your eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
I don't know, my
he
spidey senses are tingling, homie.
your
I
spidey
don't know.
your spidey senses certainly are tingling. Um,
Be prepared, I
yeah,
think that is
okay.
the easiest way
Prepare for
to.
the coup of a lifetime.
He gives you an acknowledging knockback, and the drive continues on uneventfully.
Yeah, but she would just talk about the kids and like
Okay.
she's like, I cannot wait to get out of this carriage. Please, persistence, come take this woman. She's boring as shit.
Okay. So, while Aerith has a very awkward social encounter,
She always
um,
does.
I mean, the previous ones you've done pretty well. This is just
It's just outside people. She doesn't like to talk to other people.
mhm. Um, Elijah, you are now loose in Villaplanche. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go first
Oh boy,
to the
here I go
office.
killing again.
Possibly, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go to the office of the guild leader. I'm gonna talk to him
Okay.
first.
Okay. Cart.
Oh,
Um,
I thought it was a he whenever I did the
uh,
reinstatement.
the person that you assassinated was a he.
Yeah, I thought I replaced him with a he.
Uh,
Nope. I don't.
I thought
Well, we had this discussion. I think the female captain of the guard he was thinking of was the one from Villicus. I don't
Yep.
remember
that's
who the.
that's a different she.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I thought
Yeah.
the replacement we did way back then was a guy, but okay, cool. Her.
Okay.
I'm gonna go break into her office while she's not there
Okay.
and sit in her chair.
Okay. Here, well, I got this
Are
Where's the
you
joke?
are you really just gonna wait for her to show up and then spin the chair around?
here.
Oh, I'm not gonna be with my back to the door. I'm gonna be like tipped back, like have her chair tipped back to where it's barely on 2 feet with my feet on her desk.
Ah, okay.
um. So,
Alfred, get me diagnostics on the Vietnam pussy. I don't know. I don't know.
so how famous are the assassins that you're a member of? Would she know who you are just based on how you look?
One not famous, more infamous. We're not well loved. But if she's interacted with any Alvarez troops, yes,
Okay.
we're here and there and on the fringes of Alvarez troops all the time.
Okay. I mean, this is a
Um,
military empire, so troops are coming through all the time. Um,
we get noticed
okay.
anywhere we pass through.
Okay. Um, so she walks in. You're waiting for a couple of hours because you get there at 2, and she walks in. Um, she's dirty and sweaty from working out in the woods among her people, and she walks into the office and she sees you and she freezes.
Welcome, Annie. Would you mind taking a seat?
Uh, well, my chair is taken.
Find one.
Uh, she pulls another chair from out in the waiting room, and sits across her desk from you.
Do you know who I am?
No, but I know you're kind.
I know who you are. Know all about you. Watched you for like an entire day once,
Well,
deciding if you were worth being in the position you hold.
well, that's not creepy at all.
We're always creepy. We both know that.
Hmm. Why does the Empire have such an interest in who runs the woodcutters guild here? As long as the lumber goes down the river, all's the same to you, right?
Fuck the Empire.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
She's so done with shit. She's like, whatever, dude.
Yes, I'm one of those guys. And the mayor didn't like your predecessor, as you know.
Yeah,
I
mayor's got a
installed
lot of
you.
problems.
I installed you into your position because you don't like the mayor. And we both know that he is a bit of a bitch.
His ambitions are pretty great for someone so low on the totem pole in the Empire.
Yes, they are. Far beyond what they should be. You, on the other hand, reasonable ambitions. And you care about people.
I don't have any ambition. I just want to make sure that my boys get what's due to them.
How would you like to expand the circle that you consider your boys?
Not sure that I like where this is going. What's happened?
As with your predecessor, a position maybe have opened. I installed you to this one because I thought you were deserving of it. However, if you were going to step up again to have more boys, I thought this one warranted a conversation.
I have no interest in your rebellion or your other objectives. Why would you want me as mayor?
You don't have to have an interest in our rebellion. All you have to have an interest in is knowing the fact that the Empire treats people badly. And will continue to do so.
And
And
it'll
will
be any different
slaughter.
under and it'll be different under you guys, I imagine.
That's not what I'm in control of. Making things different will be the job of the leadership.
Yeah, but
What I am here
leadership.
for is to make it new. You see how me and my kind are treated. We are stepped on just as often as the poor and those who Alvarez does not deem worthy. I don't think that's how things should be.
This sounds like the UDDC talk.
We have one of those with us. You can talk to him.
Hmm.
Me? I'm worried about my boys. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I can certainly understand that.
I thought you might. It's why I refused to kill you. Why I had you get this job.
Hmm.
You care about your boys, and that's all that I really ask for in a leader. Ambition? That's for the people who are going to make things different. We watch
Ambition
out
is.
for our own.
Mhm. This is quite a lot for somebody that I met just a few minutes ago.
Indeed. You need not control the soldiers. Me and you both know the leaders and the generals that are in the city won't let you have control of that.
Hmm. I mean, the militia is loyal to uh, Blanchard, not the office of the mayor.
Exactly. So, if Blanchard weren't there, they would be loyal to their commanders. All I would ask of you is to look out for your city, its people, and its countryside. Leave the war to us. You need not be involved unless you decide that it is something you would like to do. Just keep the people calm, keep them fed. That's all I need.
Mm. Well, I'd say no, but I would do it anyway.
Uh, I thought so. Well, oh, what is his
So
title?
he's the mayor.
No, not him. The other one, the one I work for.
Oh, Cartier
Yeah. What's his title? I forget the titles.
is Viscount.
Yeah, he'll be along. He'll declare you mayor, etc., etc. Paperwork. That's all your problem. I don't do paperwork. Um,
Ugh, envious. Do you know how much paperwork you saddled me with when you made me the leader of the guild?
yes, I know. I went through some of it while I was waiting. You
This is
took forever.
this is the first time that I've gotten out in the woods in a week.
Well, you can probably
Week.
go tomorrow. You can probably go tomorrow too, because I did like half this paperwork for you. Your signature is so easy to forge.
Um. Well, that doesn't make me feel great.
You should probably add some flourishes. I'm just saying. Uh, but yes, congratulations, Mayor.
Ugh, don't call
Um,
me that.
yeah, come up with a
Just
new title then.
just Annie is fine.
That works for me. Congratulations, Annie. If you have anyone that needs protecting, if you have anyone that wants to join the assassins, uh, or if any of your boys decide they want to be ascended at some point, let me know. We'll see what happens.
Uh, that sure doesn't sound like change that you were talking about just a minute ago.
Would the current ascended ask you to fill their ranks? Would the current ascended care about watching out for people that are kind?
I suppose that is true.
Change is not always entire new continents and new banners. It can be small.
Hmm.
Does not mean it does not make a difference. Once again, change, that's the job of the leaders. I'm here to watch out for my boys. And now, for yours.
Well, what is your name then? You haven't told me that yet.
Elijah Dumont.
Like of House Dumont?
One and the same. I was once a member. Second in line. Then, I became as you see now. And I was nothing.
Hmm. Well, we'll see what that is.
Indeed. Now, congratulations, Annie. I have some commanders to have a conversation with.
Oh, I imagine you do.
Any of them I should watch out for in particular?
Hmm. Well, the mayor was able to compromise them somehow. Uh, subvert their loyalty to the Empire. So if you can understand how he did it, that's something that I've wondered myself for a while now.
Well, at the very least, it means they are flexible, not blinded by devotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know. Thank you, Annie. I hope I
Well,
do not die in the following days talking to them, and I hope we have a long, long time to work together.
hmm. Well, I've got a job to do.
As do I. Then he's gonna go break back into the mayor's house to see if he can dig up some dirt,
Mm-hmm.
because apparently there's dirt to dig up.
Make an investigation check.
Make a dirt check.
And actually,
Mhm.
yeah, make an investigation check.
I was so happy that you said your full name until you elaborated on it, because if she turns on us and goes and tells people that the Dumont, like, oh,
Yeah.
Ah, Elijah.
He had the moment, and then he ruined the subterfuge
It's
by
well, it's
throwing
not what
House
Elijah would do.
further under the bus.
Elijah's not thinking that way. Elijah's
Mhm.
trying to like, hey, my family fucked me. Like this is I'm here because of that. Like he wasn't.
It's
Ugh.
definitely like I see the mindset of him going, "Yeah, you're not gonna turn on me
Also, he
because if you
found
do, it
everything.
won't
He
end
found
well."
everything, Thur.
Yeah, I saw that.
I found absolutely everything, and also, no, I didn't feel the need to lie to her. I wanted to build repertoire, which was just cut and dry. This is a working woman. Give her the
It's
facts.
not even lying
If
to
the
her.
commanders ask that same question, I'm going to lie to
Yeah.
every one of their asses.
But it's not even lying to her. It's just like, yes, this is my name. And then later, when we know that she didn't betray us immediately, because that's always a possibility, then you could say, oh yeah, I used to. Then you could have that afterwards. But for
Eh,
this right
I
here,
mean,
like, I don't.
she already knows. She already knows that I nailed her predecessor to a tree, quite literally.
I Yeah, which means that
Yeah.
she's probably not very friendly towards you.
Eh,
Like,
it also means if she lies, it's not going to be within a couple hours.
uh,
It also could. I mean, I see where he's going, which is also just the look. I'm giving you this moment. You know that I have to be telling the truth because if I wanted you dead, I'd have killed you by now.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was
Yep.
that was my thinking. Was she very clearly understood if he wanted her dead, she would be dead. Um,
So, out of curiosity, at what point would Minx start to do his work? After the lady had been reunited with her kids?
yeah, so I think she's gonna be getting back at around 7 or 8 o'clock this evening.
Hmm.
Um, and then I assume she's gonna immediately get ushered by somebody along with Julien and Gabriel to the port to meet up with a ship. Um, and so probably the next day would be when you make the announcement.
Yeah,
All right.
probably. I think that Aerith and I would probably go to the ship.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so Minx will have his moment, but we need to deal with first Elijah and then the process of getting them to the ship.
Totally fine.
Um,
Yeah, Elijah's not moving on the commanders now. That's
mm,
why he asked Annie about it. He's building information. He's going to spend the next
yeah.
2 to 3 days until your propaganda takes root before he makes that approach.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's going to let the commanders have a moment of uncertainty before he helps enlighten them to the UDDC's way of thinking.
Hmm.
Stab, 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 stab.
If necessary, we'll see.
I need to go and look at something real on my notes real quick. Hang on.
Davert.
Also, I love that I found everything.
Yeah.
That's why he's got to go take a look at his notes.
Yep.
Copy and paste.
This one. Oop.
Yeah, that was one of the few rolls that I really needed to roll well, because +4 ain't much.
But you got a 20.
But I got a 20.
Maybe here. Uh, right. I remember. Okay. So yeah, that wouldn't be there. Um. So you head into the mayor's office and you thoroughly search through every drawer, uh, nook, cranny, floorboard, ceiling tile, vent, um, and you don't find anything amiss. Um, Disturbingly
Dun,
so,
dun, dun,
actually.
dun, dun.
Okay.
Um, like all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. It's in all of your experience as an assassin and wet works guy, you have never seen anyone so meticulous in keeping track of everything and making sure that everything is exactly as it is supposed to be. Um, if Mayor Blanchard had dirt or was paying these guys under the table, you have no idea how he was doing it. Uh, so, uh, like, there's something strange going on with that. Uh, in that there doesn't appear to be anything strange, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And let's see.
Something's amiss. What do you mean? I can't find anything that's amiss. That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Someone this ambitious on this level, they've got something wrong.
Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne.
I could hear
Yeah,
you.
that's the other thing is like even if like he didn't keep like the dirt on them here, like you feel like you should have found like
Yeah, like
something,
other businesses, shell houses, warehouses that he
right, some
owns.
kind of lead that you could follow to trace to where the actual like dirt is. And you find nothing. He must be using some alternative means of persuasion. And as you are finishing your investigation, the you uh, take a moment and you listen, and you feel like somebody's watching, but the house is deadly quiet.
So I feel like someone's watching me.
You feel like somebody's watching you.
It always feels like
Do I
somebody.
need to make a perception roll or anything? See if I can kind of suss them out.
Yeah, you can
I am
roll.
I am still stealthed, if
Mm-hmm.
possible.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Um, yeah. It seems like the house is completely like abandoned, almost. Like with their master and mistress both out of the house, everybody has left.
Okay, I'm gonna walk down to the dining room.
It's empty.
I'm gonna sit. You know,
Okay.
it's impolite to stare. For someone to be this perfect at what they do is impossible. Now, if someone else was doing it all for them, that would make sense. There are no records to be kept here because he knew nothing, or not enough. He was an ambitious man. He did not strike me as that impressive when it came to actually bending people to his will. He would have needed someone else for that. Would you mind if we just had a conversation?
Uh, as you're saying this out loud, um, a voice whispers into the back of your mind. Very perceptive.
Do you know what is happening?
I know everything that's happening.
What do you think of my selection then?
It's not particularly important who you select. I can control anyone.
It sounds like it. Hmm. Are you going to let things continue as they are? Or you're going to seize firmer control now?
I've always been in control. But for now, our interests are somewhat aligned at least.
Then I have a question for you. Was that fool actually ambitious?
Not to
Or
the
was he
degree
following orders?
not to the degree that I made it seem.
You are quite impressive. I
Thank
have
you.
been in the game of shadows for decades. Quite impressive.
I trust you can keep this little secret between us.
What would I gain by telling anyone? You've seen my
Precisely.
entire party come. You've let us go. You haven't tried any too serious mind control. Someone as talented as you are knows that working for Alvarez has no upside.
Oh, I don't work for the Alvarez.
No,
I'm
one like you
disappointed
wouldn't.
that you would make that assumption.
Oh no, what I was saying is one like you would never would. So, if it is control you want, and I can open that door, and therefore pass through this region without undue difficulty, let me know.
If you are
If you're
cooperative,
going to try to poison the minds of my entire army, all of our leaders and command, well, the Hell Knight is going to have a problem with it if nothing else. And he can be one stubborn asshole.
have I not proven a valuable ally so far? I dare say Kaime would have gone quite differently without my forces.
Quite. The question is, does it continue to benefit you for us to borrow them longer?
Well, as you said, the continued existence of the Alvarez Empire benefits neither of us. After that,
Agreed.
we'll see.
I can live with that. There will be information flowing through the city. Can I entrust you to make sure that it is favorably received?
You needn't worry on that front.
I'd hope not. I quite hope to meet you in person one day. This is stunning work.
Hmm.
I could take some
No,
tips from you.
I don't think you will.
Probably not. Quick question. How do you feel about the Ascended?
Their aims are all well and good, but their methods are flawed. Humanity is merely a fuel to create something greater, but what they create, well, let's just say I don't approve.
Can't disagree. So, in my mind, I've always been considering making more Ascended. Should I be considering making something different?
It matters not to me what you create, but if you have an interest in true power and perfection, hmm, it might be worth the experiment at least.
I can't say I'm not intrigued. Now, I have only met one other creature with the mind power that you seem to have. I assume you can understand where my mind goes.
He can, but I'm wondering what you're trying to imply.
Mind flayers.
Oh yes. That's okay. That's what I thought.
They're the most well-known mind control
Yeah,
people out
yeah.
there.
This,
I'm trying to
yes,
guess what it
that was
is.
me.
Yeah.
That
That
was
was
you.
us.
Huh. Well, the ones in the cave. One, they didn't start that fight. Two, they didn't show this level of finesse. You must be quite powerful. This is stunning, really.
I am
Well,
indeed. We are indeed quite powerful.
I have no problem with morality and all of that nonsense. All I see is results. I personally like individuality, but I have no problem with collectives. I am happy to work beside you. Fine by me?
Well, I'm glad I decided to have this conversation then. It's been very productive.
Quite. And he'll like pull out his flask, lift it up to the air. Cheers to the new era. And then yeah, he's gonna finish up his drink, kind of piddle around town, watches the commanders hear the information, and their eyes glaze over.
Uh-huh.
And once he's assured that the mind
Nothing's
flayer is doing his
nothing's so
job,
obvious, by the way.
oh yeah, but that
They
that's
just,
his joking way of saying it. They
yeah,
accept things that they probably shouldn't have accepted that easily.
yeah.
Um, and he's gonna head home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's
Uh,
still so he wasn't lying at any point in that conversation. He doesn't have problems working with collective, but he is sitting here pondering over like,
the
what
implications of
are
this.
the implications? Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
Well,
we'll see what he does with the information later, but I assume the mind flayer even understands that himself. Why mind flayers don't open themselves up to interaction that often.
well,
No,
yeah,
they
Like
don't.
this.
because they because there's a whole organization on the planet that's dedicated to making sure they don't exist. So,
Yep.
All right. Well, that's what a nat 20 gets you on that investigation check. You're welcome.
That's amazing. Wow. So we never needed the mayor. We needed this guy.
Yeah.
We needed the collective.
well, here's the problem. You can't tell persistence about this. So,
Yeah, and you would
Not
it's,
know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
not without persistence immediately telling everyone.
no, he wouldn't even tell
Well,
everybody. He would
specifically
just tell the
Kasani.
Kasani. He's like, I'm contractually obligated. It doesn't matter.
They
Yeah.
will conduct a crusade.
Persistence wouldn't lift a hand himself. He's just supposed to let certain people know. So,
Here's the interesting thing though. We've interacted with mind flayers, so he's already talked to you about the mind flayer situation.
mhm.
What would the Kasani reaction look like to an established mind flayer city?
uh,
That is
scorched
that
earth.
is a threat. That is a threat to
That is
everyone.
that is a pretty high level threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Like even
here
to not
here's
Kasani people.
here's my question though. How much scorched earth?
Let me put it
That
this
city?
way:
The
the
surrounding four?
the house that is in charge of anti Kasani stuff is House Atalazine.
You mean
They
anti-mind player stuff?
yeah, they're like the psychic house and stuff. They're basically the Kasani's wet worker house. Their history is that their founder was originally sent as a spy to Kasani, and they were flipped and turned double agent. And they ensured he was a they were a Yanti infiltrator and such, and the headmaster like turned him and his immediate like workers and all that stuff and welcomed him into Kasani to cut ties with the Yanti. Where there once was a Yanti metropolis and jungle, there is now a scorched, blackened wasteland. So,
So here's the other thing. Informing persistence wouldn't be good for us.
no.
Then.
Persistence would still do it because it's in the contract, but it would not be good for us. Because it's also they're deep.
You-
You have to set off like to do that. If like Yontir on the surface, mind flayers are deep down. Like I imagine it would be multiple hexes in width if they did the same thing for that. But Persistence
Mhm.
also doesn't know what they would actually do. Lev has some ideas of what the Kasani might be able to do, but Lev is not the DM at the moment, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Elijah's gonna keep his
Also,
mouth shut.
Yanti would never work with.
no, I'm
I don't
just
think
using
that
that
they would
as an example of
influence anything to this degree.
yeah,
No,
I'm
I
yeah.
understand.
That's just when the Kasani go nuclear. It's like when you live on an
They literally go
island.
nuclear.
Yeah, when you live on an island, you don't care about what you do to the land. Like, there's a whole video for like sci-fi stuff of like, just planet killers are stupid because when you destroy the planet, you destroy all of its resources. When instead you could just bomb the surface and then harvest all the minerals instead. The Kasani don't give a damn about that. It's like, they would rather have 100% certainty that nothing is alive. So.
Okay, then yeah, I think Elijah's gonna keep his mouth shut for a couple years.
That'd be good, you narc.
I mean, they've been there for this long. What more are they gonna do?
Yeah.
It's fine.
The Kasani are also already on the continent looking for a colony, though, so that might be. But they're
Well,
looking in the swamp.
Yeah.
all the more reason for Elijah to say shit.
Yeah,
Two people can keep a secret if one of them's dead.
but Elijah would probably also know that the Kasani are specifically sending mind readers to find mind flayers. So if the Kasani comes to like visit and have an official thing, then yeah, I'll leave that to
That's
Elijah
the
what he
next
thinks
part of
needs
the
to be
session.
done.
Hopefully I'm level 15 by then to get slippery mind.
Yeah.
Oh, is that just a general thing? I thought that was a mastermind thing.
Oh, that's a general.
No. Or wait, is it because masterminds is you can't be they
All
basically
rogues
have
get
permanent
proficiency in int
non-detection.
saves, at least.
Yeah, mastermind gets particularly soul of deceit at level 17. Your
Right, that
thoughts
was
can't be
it.
read by telepathy or other means.
That's right, that was
No,
it.
I just get will saves at 15
Yeah.
or wisdom. But yeah, that's a little uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
and will be a problem someday.
It's a problem for a later date, sure.
Exactly. For now, it sounds kind of like a terrifying ally to have, and he might drop in occasionally to ask questions. He is also going to immediately send out letters to all of his people that no one is to set foot in that city or work in immediate vicinity of any of the troops from that city.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just kind of a prime directive, no questions.
Yeah. Okay, so protecting your own people.
Exactly. Oh, once again, I wouldn't lie to Annie. The boys are the important part.
Yeah.
None of us are getting turned. That's straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I guess that's me for everything going on this session.
Yep. Okay. So we turn the camera back to Kaime, um, with Alexia and Aerith arriving into the town. So it would be about, I think I said 7 or 8 o'clock. So Alexia is excited to see her children. Um, so how are you guys receiving her?
Have her lead her to a room where the children are. Bring them, dinner and food. But otherwise, and if they want to walk around the mayor's the manor, uh,
Mm-hmm.
allow them like under guard. And if they ask where the husband in, just say, oh, he's busy with the militia. He'll, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's busy with the militia overseeing some duties. We'll have a full meeting tomorrow morning. So
Okay.
that's what persistence is trying to say, unless Aerith wants to say something different.
Nope. Aerith hasn't changed out of the robes yet.
Okay. Alexia will respond along lines of, "Oh, well, that's a shame." Uh,
As things are moving quite quickly with you and your husband's assistance. We came out of the battle at Kaime as close to unscathed as you can come out of major engagements. None of the enemy were able to flee the field of battle, and we are preparing to strike at Bateau quickly. So we are very busy, but we did feel that now that the threat from the Cathedral and the Crusade is over, that you certainly do deserve to be reunited with your children as soon as possible. I know that you have likely missed them very much.
oh, I have.
So, until then, apologies for the absence of your husband, but please do enjoy our time together and let us know if there's anything you need. We will speak further in the morning.
All right. Well, I shall enjoy some time with my children then.
Yes. And please
Good
let
evening.
Corporal Dostoevsky know if you need anything.
Uh, of course, of course. Okay. So she spends some time with her kids, and then the evening wears on, and they go to bed. Um, are you guys doing anything in that evening?
Not related to the narrative.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought, was the plan not we like wake them up, say that the husband was attacked, get them on the boat quickly as possible, usher them out?
We can do that in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Okay.
get Cusco on the screen. Let's hear
Uh,
the sultry tones of the propaganda.
yep. So we
But
will advance the clock unless somebody has an objection to tomorrow, the 59th.
Nope.
I'm still busy,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, call me.
You're still passed out in the swamp somewhere. Um, so it is year 3, day 59. The new day dawns. Um, what are you guys doing?
The New Dawn
Uh,
days.
The new dawn
Aerith,
days, yeah.
Aerith and Persistence would greet the family in the morning. I would say, we have breakfast prepared. After that, join us in the carriage, and we will be off. It's going to be a busy, eventful day for you, I imagine.
Oh, I wasn't aware that we were going sightseeing.
Uh, yes, and just have a dinner, small talk with the boy about his training and all that good
Hmm.
stuff. Uh, and then get in the carriage with a flank of our men. And once they are far enough down the road, like probably within sight of Marana, uh, within sight of Marana, would then like explain to her and just like, so your husband was assassinated,
Oh my.
Wow.
and we are going to
Wow.
be putting you on
Are you
a
saying
ship.
this in front of her kids as
Subtlety
well?
of a fucking brick.
Wow.
Huh?
God Almighty.
Her
Yeah,
kids are also in the carriage,
yeah.
right?
Her
Mr.
kids are there.
President,
And
they
it's like,
bombed 9/11.
Wow.
we are going to get you out of the country. And Arif, where did you decide to send him? Out of character, where did you decide to send him?
she was sending her to the temple, and
In Asarius?
yeah.
Yep.
Yes, we are going to, for your safety, we are going to put you and your children on a boat and send you to Asarius, where you will not be in danger of whatever forces murdered your husband. This is the best we could do, and we unfortunately also have to keep this as quiet as possible. I apologize for that, as we do not want the morale to be affected by this news.
You mean you don't know who killed him? What happened?
Funnily enough, he was eaten by a mimic. Uh,
What? A mimic
Can't even
here?
think of a good lie. What a
They're,
miserable.
Oh,
they're,
Come on.
just
I,
subtle as
hold on.
I'm so
shit.
disappointed.
Hold on. Oh my goodness. There was some misfortune as they tried to take the bell from the cathedral. A bell from the cathedral. No, she knew about the bell. I can say that. There was a misfortune as they were reclaiming the bell from the cathedral. Say nothing about a
It
stupid
was
fucking mimic.
it was or well, Are
I
you
know he
saying that
already
instead
did.
of what Lev said, or?
Yes. I'm
I'll let
going
Eric
to.
take the lead. Just I'm not very good at
Yes.
lying.
Yeah,
Okay. Which is the
literally, she's not lying. There
Y'all
was
didn't
a
want shock and
misfortune
awe.
on the way
There's
Uh-huh.
through
something
the.
among us.
I mean, this
Yes.
whole time I was
Something among
expecting
us.
it to be a breakfast thing, but makes sense. Makes sense.
No, it's in Persistence's mind there, and if Aerith, he would have talked about this with Aerith beforehand, so I probably would let her do it. But as soon as they're on the road, in a carriage, away from the troops, surrounded by guards loyal to our cause that wouldn't care about them, and on the boat, it doesn't necessarily matter what we talk to
Yeah.
her about. So,
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I would put it as on the way to
Those
reclaiming
bricks.
the bell, there was some misfortune.
Okay. Um. So, Alexia, is obviously, um, very upset about this sudden, uh, news that she's received. Um, the kids are just devastated. Like, uh, Gabriel is holding back tears, because he doesn't want to cry in front of his teacher. Uh, but Aerith, you can tell that he's like a centimeter away from just bawling his eyes out.
No.
Uh,
My heart. This poor kid. Oh fuck! It's an imposter at the cathedral.
And she's
I
she's going
found the murderer.
she's going to lean forward and she's gonna tuck some of his hair behind his ear, and she's gonna lean in really close. She's like, "It's all right to cry."
that sets him off. He's just gonna start bawling.
She does extend her arms. I know his mom is
Mhm.
right there, but she does,
Yeah.
like, slightly. She gives him the
Hmm.
offer of if he wants comfort, she is
Hmm.
there. And she
Uh,
continues to stroke his hair.
yeah. Alexia is busy with Julian, so who is also very upset and shouting at Persistence about
Good, he
what do you
deserves
mean
it.
he's dead? Uh, How could you were supposed to work together and protect each other? How could you let him get killed like this? We're not even like we've barely gotten started and he's already dead.
it's not an ideal situation. It was completely unexpected. It's taken us all by surprise.
And our hearts
Uh,
grieve with you,
and
child.
and I
your
made a
words fell
promise to
on
him.
And
deaf
our
ears.
Yes.
hearts
And I made a
grieve
promise
with
to him to
you.
keep
Death is
you both safe, and the only way that I can do that now is getting you off the continent.
This isn't. She's crying as she says this, but she says, "This isn't how I wanted to go out and see the world."
I know, love. It's very rare that we end up getting to. The reason we go out and to see the world is very rarely the reason we want it to be. I'm very sorry that this has happened to you. And she, by the way, the whole
Hmm.
time she's stroking Gabriel's hair, and she
Hmm.
looks at both of them, and she's like, "But I promise you, the place you're going, there's a woman there. Do you remember the crazy cleric lady I told you? She would have told them stories
Yeah.
during this time, and she would have told them about Thea, the high priestess of
Hmm.
Keelandis, and how gentle and courageous, but also just sort of batshit she is." And she's like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, do you remember those crazy stories I told you about high priestess Thea?
Yeah.
And but remember how I told you about all the wonderful things that she could do?
Hmm.
I'm gonna send you to her, all right?
Hmm.
And she's gonna help you with your magic. And I know several fine boys who would be and girls who would be willing to help Gabriel with his sword play. And someday, don't make it gross. He's like 6. He's 12.
He's 12. He's 12, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the one
No.
saying boys and girls in swordplay.
We're rated R, not whatever
I
that would
mark
be.
this isn't for
Not
children
bad.
every week.
Not illegal.
Not rated ew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
she's
Um.
right.
just like,
My apologies.
and you'll meet pirates and you'll meet there's a princess there. There's kings. Maybe you'll meet His Majesty Anton. He'll take a shine to you, Gabriel. I'm sure of it. But there's and
Yeah.
I say all these things not well, in part to hope to make you feel better, but I know I can't. But I want to give you a little hope that the future's not going to be so dark.
I will also add, my lady, that one of the reasons we're able to do this so quickly is we had this as a contingency anyways, in case the war turned this county even worse. This is a safer place for you and your family than in the middle of an active war zone where you have now been clearly outed to the Empire as turncoats. Uh, just all happened faster than we had anticipated, unfortunately.
Or ever wanted.
Hmm.
Aerith would say that. That would make sense. She and Jacques vibe on the same wavelength on that one.
Yeah.
Anticipated, like we planned, like we knew your husband would die.
Yeah.
No, this is all
We're
shocking. We
going
never
to
thought that
murder
this would
him.
ever happen. We never expected this, and we have to take the precautions to ensure y'all are safe.
By the way, if Gabriel continues to sob harder, she will just pull him into her lap.
Yeah. Um, he's pretty broken up about it. That's his
Yep.
dad.
Yeah.
Julianne is also very upset, but doesn't want to appear childish because she's a 16-year-old girl.
This is
Um,
this is all like Persistence knew something like this was going to happen, but Persistence does not have a concept of parental affection, so it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like
no, shocker. How about that? Who'd have thought?
yeah.
I mean, you know who your
Aerith,
parents are at least.
He
Aerith
would see
will.
him like once a year for holidays after he was given up to the orders, but like I know who they are, but if it's like they suddenly died, it's like that's a shame. Like
I mean,
Hmm.
didn't they raise you till you were like 6?
yeah,
I feel like
I
you'd
feel like that's
remember.
plenty of time for bonding.
Yeah.
really
That
okay.
explains
I've
so
Yeah,
much.
it is.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
a bad person to have an approximation of this, so
So in my
I
mind, I
mean,
would say it's plenty of time for bonding, but it seems like the order's goal is really to deconstruct people and rebuild them as they want. So it wouldn't be too surprising that he would have lost the bonding after whatever rituals they perform.
That's fair.
it's also not
yeah.
like unnecessary. Like they don't take the kids like from the house at sword point or anything like that. Like it's a culturally enforced but still a voluntary give up, and they do get to see them yearly for stuff. Like he knows who his parents are. He's spoken to them. They're on. He knows what they look like and all that shit. It's just not. They're not that important a part of his life as like his brother was, or his fellow cadets, or his like commanders and such.
Hmm.
She would like look at Persistence and mouth like pat her hand. Like she's trying to get soften your
In
face. Soften your
Persistence's mind,
face
he'd
a
just be
little.
like, Aerith, this is not a time for seduction.
That's an actually you thick-headed.
I
He
was gonna
wouldn't
say
say that
she's
out loud.
16, but you are a Hell Knight.
Oh, I thought you meant the mother.
Oh,
No, that child. Pat her on the hand. I don't know. And she's
I
actively holding a sobbing
mhm.
12-year-old boy.
well, it's again like the mother is right there. Like how Persistence is not a comforting person. He wouldn't think
Yeah,
that that's his job. Like
yeah. No,
Alright, it's alright. This is
she's
why Aerith is in this cart.
yeah. Uh, yeah. Alexia is also helping with Julianne manage her feelings. Because Julianne and Gabriel have a lot of feelings about this.
As 12 and 16 will do.
Yep. Um, so you guys make it to Marana with no incident. I assume you used sending to have somebody here to pick them up.
Yes.
Which ship are you having sail them to Asarius?
I know we talked to. I don't want to lose one of our units,
Mm-hmm.
but I would call for Grenoir. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's got a quick ship. He is a
Yeah.
solid captain, and he's also a good dude. And these are two devastated children.
Yeah. Just you just can't hug them.
You just can't touch them, or he will poison them.
Yes. Okay. And I think the crew of
Tempest
they
Rovers?
they can go with a skeleton crew and leave the Tempest Rovers here. So the
Oh shit.
captain and the actual like sailors will go, and
I
then
mean, we can
like
give them some skeletons too if they just need some crew.
Yeah, if they need an actual skeleton crew, we could make that happen.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Julia. You're in one.
yeah.
Oh god, why?
So yeah, so you'll still have your Tempest Rovers, but the actual ship won't be available for a while. Let me just calculate how long. Let's see, 120 miles a day, and it is approximately. Uh,
Do we
It's gonna
need
be.
them for this battle?
It's gonna be several months, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
We might not want to send them.
It
And who are
is
we sending?
approximately 5,500 miles. So 5,500 times 2 is what? 12,000 or
11.
11,000
Yeah.
11,000.
divided by 120 miles in a day uh, is 90 days to go back and forth. So that's 3 months round trip.
We have a ship that we can.
We can hire a vessel, but if this is something where we got to make absolute positively sure, then I guess we're losing it for 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, if they're the crew that you trust,
And she would trust them to the ends of the earth. Like, this is
okay.
the one crew out of all of the pirate crew she has worked on. Like,
Crew
she
of
would.
crews.
She would swear a blood pact with Grenoir and then be
This
poisoned.
is the Straw
But
Hats.
Okay, so let's see. So day 59 plus 90 days is day 149.
Mhm.
Oh god.
Hey,
Hey, she'll
Too
almost
they'll
be
late to
a
some.
full cleric. When
they'll get back just before Keelandia ascends.
that's what I was just thinking. I was like, yeah, Grenoir, come back, see me lose my mind or
And
something.
then
I don't know.
Just in time for the good shit.
I'm looking at the Vidaughter's stat sheet, and it says apprentice to Abraham Bissett. Is he
Yes.
actually in Kaime?
No, we
No,
left it. We left
you
him
left him
behind.
behind. You barely talked to him. I don't think you actually did talk to him at all.
Nope, we
No,
He
but
didn't
was
is
he
see
he?
was
him.
shut up in his room.
Was he in? But was he in Kaime or is he in Asarius? Like, is he one of the NPCs who joined us on the ground?
He's in Village,
He's
and
in
he stayed
Village,
in
yeah.
Village.
Oh,
Yeah.
Abraham isn't your. Okay, Abraham's
No,
their guy.
that's
Okay, I don't care about Abraham
Yeah.
then. Because one of the things that Persistence would try and ask, and he, now that they're before they get to the boat too, is uh, Julianne, have you given any thought to what parts of the world you would like to see when you do an apprenticeship? Are you interested in visiting the UDDC, possibly attending Kasani, studying more at the schools that they're opening? I hear they're opening a wizard university in Westgate, even.
Well, I mean, I would. Is now really the time to be thinking about this?
I'm going to kneel down. I'm going to glare at Persistence. I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to press a piece of paper into her hand. I'm not going to kneel because I'm short. I keep forgetting. I'm
You're
just
short and
going
We're
to
also
look
in a
her in
you're
the
carriage.
also
eye.
riding in a carriage.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought we were out of the carriage.
No.
I'm going to lean over and I'm going to press a piece of paper into her hand. And I'm going to smile and I go, "When you're ready, love. There's a wall, on the far side of Mr. High Priestess Thea's temple. You're gonna mark in charcoal so it washes off so she won't kill you. But you're gonna mark in charcoal this symbol and Jacob will come find you. He's a master at magic. And when you're ready, he'll help you figure out what you're gonna do. All right? Don't no need to worry about it now. You just grieve, love.
Okay. Right, she takes the piece of paper and she puts it in a pocket.
Thought she was gonna be like, what you're gonna do is you're gonna mark this symbol and you're gonna lay down a taco. Yolanda's gonna show up.
It's burritos, but yes.
You're
No.
gonna put down a chalupa.
No, she's an arcane lady. She's not a divine lady. And we've got a couple arcane people.
On a domain.
And that's true. But yeah, she's gonna leave her secret symbol for her best friend Jacob to come help this girl
Okay.
whenever she's ready.
Whenever she's ready.
Mhm.
Okay. So you guys make it to Marana. The Black Earl is there waiting for you with Captain Granuli, waiting by the gangplank. I'm not going to do the accent because I tried that last time and it was terrible.
It's my favorite. Please.
Practice makes perfect.
Okay. French Kermit the Frog.
And you don't
Right.
even need to do a French Kermit the Frog. Just Kermit the Frog is sufficient.
Kermit the Frog.
Yo, Kermit the Frog here.
Hello, Kermit the I'm Captain Granuli, and I see we'll be sailing together.
Yay!
I'm so excited to meet you.
Where's Tim Curry at?
Aerith has told me some fun things about you. We're going to have a wonderful time.
Oh man. I love
Maybe we'll pillage some ships along the way. You know.
Are these the new crew? We're gonna take you to the one place not corrupted by capitalism.
It's time to draw the sails. It's time to sail
How'd
the
you
ship.
even do it, Tim Curry? Impersonation.
I was like, where did that come from, Sal? And I'm like, okay, you're crossing the streams now.
A little bit.
Base!
These guys aren't communists.
Right.
Although I guess Tim Curry was in Muppet Treasure Island. So
Yeah,
that
that's
the whole
what Sal's going. But instead of it went Kermit, Muppet Treasure Island, Tim Curry, and then like Red Dawn or whatnot. When it could have gone
yeah,
like
Red Alert.
Red Alert, it could have gone to Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm not sure which one would have been a harder left
They're
turn.
going. I thought they were going to. I guess they're not going to Dragon.
To space?
They're going to the one place that's untouched by capitalism. Spies.
You know what is touched by capitalism? Asarius. We got tainted.
Asarius
politically.
is very tainted by capitalism. Are you kidding? It's
The-
incredibly
capitalist
The
right
worst
next to,
part
like,
of
the
this
fucking trading company.
is Mike didn't know who Tim Curry was, but he remembered the Red Alert cutscene when he Googled who Tim Curry was. I hate it.
I'm sorry. That is Mike to a T.
And I know, like, this is like when we all turned 21, we had a party and we watched Rocker Horror Picture Show, and he still didn't know who Tim Curry was.
Oh my god.
Title one more time, please.
Rocky Horror Picture
Frankenfurter?
Show?
You
Horror.
said her picture.
Rocky
You
Horror.
got the information you needed. It was just condensed, all right? It's a zip file.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's time to weigh the anchor. It's time to sail the ship.
Anyways,
There you go. I like that.
Hey, welcome to Kermit the Frog's LASIK eye surgery.
What?
My brother and me did a thing where it's like, hey, leave us on this voicemail. Leave us what a voicemail machine would sound like doing your worst accents for a LASIK eye surgery, and for like celebrity impersonations. And one person did like a 2-minute long thing. It was
I
Kermit.
think I did remember this.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog and
Told
Ray
us this.
Romano's LASIK eye surgery place.
You told us this. You told us this.
I know, and I'm surprised Thur forgot.
Kermit the Frog here. You come to sail on the ship, we will take good care of you and take you to your safety where you need to go.
We will blast your eyeballs right back into goodness.
God.
The ship is now armed with lasers.
Oh my god. Oh man, it's better than Spelljammer.
I can't. No, I
Yeah.
can't do Ray Romano.
There's the pirates who don't do anything, and then there's the ship of misfit impressions.
It's the pirates who don't do anything except for
If
LASIK.
you ask us to do anything, we'll just tell you. We don't do anything. Sorry.
Anyways,
obsessed.
they leave on that ship of horrors.
I'm like,
Yeah.
On the-
Never was a character, not a stat, no, not one at all.
We were sailing,
And
sailing, the wind was on our side, and then it died.
as we
I've
get back in the
never
carriage,
been left in the fall.
so we get back in the carriage to drive back, and it's like, I was going to offer to write her a letter of recommendation to wherever she wished to apprentice after this, but that wasn't the time. I apologize.
If she gets along with Jacob, then Anton will write her. I'm sorry, His Majesty will write her any recommendation that
I'm
she
sure she'll be
needs.
taken care of, but I was hoping to, take her mind off things with that possibility for the future advancement.
Love, not everyone is as career oriented.
Well, her
As you
father
are.
was, otherwise we wouldn't be in this situation.
But she's a 16-year-old girl, not a fat bastard.
Oh. It's like, whoa now. Whoa.
Who's the fat bastard? Wait, did I miss
The,
that on a
the
game?
mayor. No,
No, the
you
mayor.
ate him. Don't worry. He was
You
Yeah.
ate
You
him.
mimicked him. You were the whole reason this session happened the way it did today.
Yeah.
She's
And now you
young.
guys know why I was so stunned when you did it.
It's like this
Well,
changes
I mean,
nothing.
besides everything. I mean, from your perspective, nothing has changed. But like,
For
the
him, it
character,
changes everything. It's like, shit,
yeah.
I had plans.
I was like, oh man, this guy was you were gonna betray him, but he was gonna have a big reveal of that he's not who he seems. But I guess we'll just throw that in the bin.
Oh god, he was a member of the collective.
Here's my question though: Did he have a tadpole in his head? And if he did, is the mimic now going to turn into a mind flare?
Or
Mimics
is
cannot
the
be-
mimic's
mimics
digestive
cannot
juices?
Mimics
That's not
cannot
how
be
the tadpoles work.
ceremonetized.
Yeah, there's multiple things wrong with that, which I will not go into.
All that I'm
because-
hearing is cowardice, cowardice, cowardice. But that's me.
Wow.
The mimic flare.
Do you want me to turn a mimic into a mind flayer and
No.
set it on you, Lev?
I
'Cause
mean,
I will do
do
that.
I want to
wrong with-
ruin Cell's pet because of what he's done to the rest of this? Of course.
Oh no, I wouldn't ruin Cell's pet, but
I ruined someone else's pet.
No.
I
I'll
mean,
just get a
I'm
bigger
the
mind
DM.
flayer.
I can conjure as many mimics as I want, Lev, and then I can
No.
put
Hear me-
tadpoles in them.
Hear me out. I am speaking on behalf of Tika. I can feel her in my soul. Mind flare ooze.
Yeah, that's
God.
Tika. That is
Yeah.
definitely Tika.
Drop it on Lev's head. Mind flare
Oh,
ooze.
no.
Yep, that is
Actually, those do exist.
Yeah.
the Ublex, right?
Yeah.
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 I know,
Yep.
but I'm imagining just a regular ooze with a tadpole, just in it, just floating.
Yeah, that's an Oblex.
Is that just an
by far.
Oblex?
Well,
Oblex.
not exactly.
Oblex doesn't
oozes
have a
that are-
tadpole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are
It's
basically
funnier
oozes
if it's
that are
just an
caused by mind
ooze.
flayers, and their oozes take the shape. They're like pseudopods take the shape of human forms that they have digested that
That's
they
pretty
use
cool.
to lure people to them.
No, but I'm
And
thinking
as they
just
get
an
bigger and bigger,
ooze
they just shed themselves into smaller Ublex that then get bigger and bigger, and then repeat the process.
with a pet tadpole.
Beyond
In
a few
a
We're just gonna have
problems,
to
little
you'd have to find a
bowl.
tadpole that's immune to
Here's the
acid,
pet, and
or a
here's the
slime
pet
that doesn't do
then
any
get
damage.
Lilith, is that black dragon in the Empire is going to be an Elder Brain dragon.
Oof.
Probably.
Hmm.
Anyways,
That
now
was a possibility I had considered.
God.
That does
Like-
not surprise me.
So, I know what he's doing and what he's gonna do if you don't intervene. Uh,
I'm not responding.
but yeah,
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
that's it. He could be a elder brain dragon at some point if we wanted. If you feel like that would be fun. I'm here to have
Yeah,
fun with you guys by
here to have
unleashing
fun.
horrors on you.
speaking of which, I believe that now that we have taken care of all the preliminary stuff, it's now Minsk's time to shine.
That's right. Yes.
In the last 30 minutes. I'm so sorry, Cusco.
So
Well, shut
Minx,
up.
while they're
I mean, really, this whole thing, like, I imagine what's going on here based on what he was thinking, because he's Mr. Charisma and helping everyone vibe and feel better. You know, he walks into the dining hall. He's got, you know, he's like kind of set up with some sort of fake looking battle damage, like there's just been something going on. He's like, comrades, I'm sorry, but I must report. Yeah. Wait, where is everyone? Did I miss this? When were they doing the reveal? Did they do it without me? Боже мой! Yeah. This is all wasted time.
My talent, years of academy training wasted.
Wasted.
Oh well, I will go inform the troops then. Yeah. He's really just going to be heading to. Are the Villaplanche soldiers here?
yeah, they're camped with you guys. Because they're gonna be marching with you to Bateau.
Right. Well, he would go out for an assembly of the troops. He would have, you know, cleaned himself up a little bit because, you know, for this it doesn't need to be quite so dramatic.
Right.
Comrades, I have the most dire of news that has just reached me. Further proof of the insidious nature that is the Alvarez Empire. They took it upon themselves to expend a massive amount of resources, not to strike at the people, but simply to get revenge on a single man. The mayor of Villaplanche has been struck down by these cowardly assassins, for they dare not face us in open combat. They struck him down because he stood for his people instead of their greed, and that was more terrifying to them than all of our assembled armies. This is why they continue to strike at these miserable, miserable targets instead of facing us. They show their cowardice. They show their fear because they know as we all stand together, they have no chance against us. And they try to strike fear in our hearts, by striking at those who stand first. But here, we all stand, and we must continue to stand and continue to fight, comrades. For they will try to break us down piece by piece. But we, together, cannot be broken. And that's a speech.
Okay.
Favorite.
Can you make me a deception or performance check? One or the other.
Sure.
Minx is my favorite.
And I might as well be using my advantage on this one for being fancy lad.
And you can give yourself bardic inspiration too.
Okay. Oh, wow. I'm not going to bother with the. Where is it? Oh, my goodness. Where is. There it is. So even with all that, it's only 24. I'm
24?
sure, you know, regardless
I
of
mean, you
anything
did
else
roll a
that's going
4.
on. Yeah, regardless of anything else, you should probably think like, ugh, it wasn't my best work. This is, they really
Yeah.
set me off earlier. Ugh.
I was so
Yeah.
prepared for the children, and then no, now I just have to go talk to the adults. Fine.
But regardless of that, you hear someone shouting in the crowd, "Vengeance for Mayor Blanchard!" The crowds are starting, "Vengeance, vengeance, vengeance, vengeance!"
I can work with this. Da,
Yeah,
comrades, vengeance! We march! We march to bring them to justice!
justice, justice, justice.
Hoppa, off we go.
Okay. So yeah, so everybody seems to be to set forth, prepping to march on Bateau with a will, and a determination, like even more than they had before. Like before, it was like a grim determination of like, all right, like, okay, this is something we gotta do, because otherwise we're all gonna die. But uh, they have now you have made Mayor Blanchard a martyr for your cause, which is not how anybody wanted that to go, but here we are.
He'll be useful at least a little longer.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, so the rest of you get back. It's a full day there and back. Um, so the sun is now setting on on day 59. So, is there anything else you guys would like to do today?
When they return,
Mm-hmm.
Minx is going to be waiting for Aerith and Persistence, and he is eating an onion like an apple because that's just a thing that Dragonborn do, and to him that's totally normal. But for them, it might be a little odd to see a man eating an onion like an apple, and just saying. So, where exactly was it the concept to leave behind your most charismatic person when dealing with the tragedy befalling kids?
So I look at him as like, we needed to get the kids away so that you would be free to give the news to the rest of the soldiers. The kids are not important besides getting them out of here.
I had this whole thing planned. I was going to make him into a hero in their eyes and let them know his last words was that he loves them more than there are stars in the sky. I was going to give them a memory of him so grand it would eclipse any actual memory of that fat chunk.
If you would have informed me about this last night, then I could have made sure to wait until you delivered this performance before wheeling them out.
No, it's fine. This is just one of those things. In my head, I'm thinking, that is performance. So, of course, they go to me. But then you're thinking, no, this is military. Get them out, be safe, troops. It does make sense. My mind is simply in other places.
And
But
feel free.
come on!
Yes. No, no, no. It would have been. It's much better than
Come
what
on!
I ended up doing. Aerith had talked my ear off about how I failed miserably in my presentation on the way back, so I agree that would have been a better way to do things. So in the future, please let me know when you need to have your performances, and I will
No,
make sure that you have this proper stage.
I will probably make this really easy for you. I'll get like a little card or something, and it's just going to say, if talk, then Minsk. Da?
Weren't really talking. We were just putting them on a carriage and getting them away. I
If
I I
talk.
realized halfway through that I didn't have a plan for the talk. Uh, yes.
It's
Shocker.
funny. Persistence is the most charismatic character. Like he's the definition of a character that has a high charisma because their force of personality is just so strong,
Yeah,
as
I mean,
opposed to
If
that them
talk,
being a smooth talker.
just remember, if talk, then minks.
It's
Yeah,
it's Persistence's job description for most of his assignments is stand there and look either pretty intimidating or both, and he is very good at that. That and
yeah.
killing people. Those are
Intimidating or pretty intimidating.
yes. So it's like
Yeah,
he's
it makes sense.
but he's not usually hired for these kinds of things.
He's
yeah.
just autistic. Don't be mean.
Thank you. Yeah, I love how Lev's weaknesses in role playing is shining through into a character. Thank you for labeling that.
I mean,
Persistence has a lot of watches. He enjoys them. He likes the ticking noise.
not. That would be incessant.
I
When
mean,
does Elijah come back?
With, I would say that while everybody's doing that, Jacques has whatever troops are still there, like they're aside from the Villaplanche. But then after Mings talks to them, he can include the Villaplanche, and it's just starting to go over battle strategy and
mhm.
layouts of Bateau in a sort of like war room.
Or okay. Let's see. Let's see. So I said you would have a week in between Bateau or your battle with Kaimei. So day 62 is when you guys are going to march out. So you got a couple of days.
Basically
Before you.
passing around to all of the leaders, the
Mhm.
sergeants or captains of the muster troops that just this
Okay.
is the layout of Bateau. Like this is sort of
Yeah.
trying to give them the idea of like what to expect of Blackwood's forces and kind
Yeah.
of getting everybody up to speed on Blackwood's mentality because it's
Yeah.
like he's trying to
Uh,
secure his foothold and his power.
yeah. You do
We
remember
need
that Sir Joffrey mentioned in his letter that Blackwood has gone back to Villicus, so it's going to
right,
be one
but
of
that
his
wouldn't
minions that is holding Bateau.
right. But what I mean is like it. We shouldn't be surprised if that person has been given the order to basically like put Bateau to the torch
Okay. Yeah.
if it comes to that.
Yeah. And you are intimately familiar with Bateau because you were the person in charge of its defense for many years. So you are very, very familiar with the advantages and potentially any weaknesses that it might have.
Do we need to go over Elijah returning? Because we would definitely, once he's back, starts like, okay, we need to replace these commanders. How are we doing that?
But he would have beat you guys back.
Well, he doesn't have a horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, I
it's gonna
mean,
be
I would
a
assume he would just steal a horse.
yeah. Do you steal a horse or do you just walk
Always.
past? Okay, so you steal another horse from some poor horse person. Uh,
Actually, I steal a horse from the same person I stole one from last time.
my
Fuck.
horsages.
Like horsages.
I
My
hate
God,
cabbages
that.
with horses. A cabbage horse. I don't know.
A cabbage what?
God,
I felt
no.
inspired, but
Why?
it was not good.
Hey, welcome to
Um,
my life, sir.
um, let's see. Well, I mean, you shoot some shots and some of them hit and some of them miss, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that was a miss.
And
All of
Um,
mine miss.
I don't know
But you
about
just
that.
had a scene with a mind flayer. That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
you had
But
a pretty good scene. Yeah. Um, let's see. So you probably get back, yeah, about the same time as they would actually. Because you're staying. I assume you stay overnight in Villaplanche.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So you
like
leave the
outside Villaplanche, so they're not like in the
yeah
city.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Not sleeping in there.
I'm not sure if it'll actually be necessary, but as soon as everyone is back, Persistence would call a meeting and just like, okay, so
Hmm.
kids are off safely to Asarius, as with the wife. They're with Captain Granui, so that's taken care of. Minsk, it sounds like you gave a rousing speech to the troops.
it really wasn't my best work, but you know, it worked.
Uh, Elijah, what are our next steps for replacing the Viaplunge commanders?
You don't.
We don't.
No.
Ominous.
So it raises an eyebrow and it's like, I assume you have a reasoning for this?
Yes.
Can you tell me the reasoning for this?
Fuck no.
Love it. Love everything
Would the
about it.
reasoning for this provide a threat to future operations?
Definitely.
Love it.
Is it a threat that
This
we
guy's
should be
fucking
made
neo-hazard, man.
aware of?
Absolutely.
But you're not telling me.
No.
Does
I'm such
someone...
a fan.
Are there people who, if they left the room, you could tell everyone else?
Possibly.
Objection. Leading the witness.
What is that?
I'm
actually?
certainly leading the witness. Who needs to
Objection.
leave the room?
All of you. Only Noctum could be here.
Good, he's the only one not here. Well then,
You see
that's
my
disturbing.
problem.
Yes, no, that you would trust Noctum with this and not the rest of us.
Absolutely.
Well, I must say this, Elijah. If we didn't trust you, we'd be dead. So it's not like we can necessarily do. I'm inclined to trust you. I appreciate the honesty.
I'm wondering, can this be solved with a game of charades? I believe this is the word. That
If-
where you like make the jumpy symbol thingies for things.
If is this something that you just cannot physically tell us, or would knowing it jeopardize certain aspects of the mission?
Knowing it would, we would all.
Okay, so
Wait,
charades
no,
are right
no.
out. It's not. That's not the problem. Communication
Yeah,
is
no.
not the problem. It is some of us knowing why.
Oh, I could say it.
But you're
Basic
deciding
ground
not
rules.
to. I'm not. If you think it's best not to say it, that's different.
Basic ground rules. Don't make friends with anyone from there. Beyond that, we should be okay.
Do we need to after we finish Bateau? Do we need to execute them all?
If you decide to do that, let me know so I can be a couple of counties over.
And charge children involved.
No, I don't think.
Oh,
No.
okay. So we didn't need to kill the kids, because that was going to be my next question.
The wife might be, but
The
Where
wife.
did you
Should
send her?
we send a message to Granwy to throw the wife overboard?
where did you send her?
Asarius.
Where in the Sarius?
Turn to Aerith.
Yeah, we sent her over to my temple. To Keelandi's domain.
To the god of free will? Oh, they'll be fine.
That's true. They will be fine.
I don't like this, Elijah, but I know that you know that I don't like this, and you're still doing this.
Did you say that? Did you say, "Oh, they'll be fine"? Aerith nods. Aerith
Yup.
goes,
So look
Eh,
at Elijah. I'm just overall just an insight check to see if this is like, do I press this further or do I trust Elijah?
do I need to be worried about any STDs?
I trust you wholeheartedly.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
what?
shit.
What are you sleeping with the other soldiers there, Binks?
I haven't done anything I'm worried about yet, but this is something where it feels like if we need to know ahead of time.
It's probably already too late.
Well, I'm glad I didn't, but I'll let the Marines know that they should tap. No, rap before tap? Dap.
Riddles aside, it's obvious Elijah isn't going to tell us exactly what it is, so we keep an eye on Villaplanche's military, and then if something rears its head, we take action then.
Which,
We
funnily
have a little
enough,
bit more of an
changes nothing.
important
Precisely.
things in front of us at the moment.
I find this very curious, but kind of fun.
Let me put it this way. I trust the motives of the commanders now more than I did with the mayor.
I don't like this because you told me that it would be bad if I know. So even if I suss it out by investigation, that will have the same negative consequences you telling me. So you're asking me to actively not figure out what it is that's going on.
Yes.
Persistence let it down. You put him in charge of this with Villaplanche's military. He's giving you
I
his
did.
answer. We move on.
I trust him implicitly. I am just making it clear to everybody, as you are asking inquiring questions, trying to figure out what happens, that we need to not figure it out.
No,
So
I get
stop
that.
asking questions.
He already gave a
Simply-
really good clue, if we're being honest.
I don't.
He both said,
I'm leaving.
Nope.
Simply
Nope.
put, Elijah, I'm going to trust you fully now with Villaplanche's military regarding this information you know.
Good.
The moment you know it is out of control in our hands, you let us know and we take action.
Absolutely.
It's not
Moving
About
demons,
on.
is it?
about the time that Alvarez falls, it's a problem.
Elijah, it's not demons, is it? Because there were demon cultists under that town, and I have suspected that he might have been sworn to a demon of greed or something. If that's the case, I cannot know.
Oh, don't worry, it's nothing that bad.
Okay, that's less than comforting.
It's not that bad. You hear a voice in the back of your head.
Noctum, what are you doing? What is this? No.
An illusion! What are you hiding?
He's just
But
vibing.
yeah,
He's
just
having a spiritual journey.
if none of our
Stuck in the spiritual
we don't need to
toilet.
stay in that city. That's all I'm saying. It's the commanders will be loyal until Alvarez falls, more or less. I have it under control. Don't worry.
If that's the case, and it's not demon related, then I
Nope.
have no objectives. Fine. Let us know if
Good.
that ever changes, and if you need to take resources to deal with something to keep it under wraps, just fine, just whatever.
And in Elijah's head, he's going, and I will absolutely tell them, unless I'm one of the collective by then. That would suck. Oh well.
Whatever.
I'm fucking assimilated by the Borg.
Okay, well, let's
That is
go
kind
on
of
to
how it
the.
works. Yeah.
Let's go on to
Like
the.
a couple days later, you see Elijah flipping through a handbook of like Keelandiism, just in case, because
Eric
How to
leans
make
over and goes,
how to make
I could
him
help you with that if you'd like.
how to make him so effing devout.
Hey, I'll get back to you on that depending on how things go.
Fair enough.
But if
You
there's
look spooked. You yourself look spooked. And it's something that the god of free will would be helpful with. Heavens bless you, my dear. And she wanders away.
indeed, because if there's a second person that hates mind flayers the most, there you go.
Hey.
Kasani and a future god.
Yep. Alright, well, Persistence would try to get all that off of his mind by focusing on preparing. It is more calming to plan a siege than it is to think about what the fuck is going on, but it'd be terrible
Sieges
for
are
him to know
simple.
about.
Like,
Agreed.
once the group splits to go do what they need to do, that is when Jacques will basically bring Persistence up to speed with what he's been doing and with his informing of the troops regarding the siege of Bateau, since
Okay.
no, they didn't want to involve Jacques into this, so into the kids, so we'll just
I
do
got
Okay.
this.
Well, you had more
So it
important
sounds like
things to do. Like,
so it sounds like the next session is going to be the planning of the siege of Bateau, as you are going to be marching on the city in a couple of days.
yeah.
Does that sound right? Okay.
Sounds
Unless
about right.
we get a newspaper or something.
Yeah, actually, so the next morning on day 60, you guys get some mail. Here we go.
Shit. I'm sorry. I read that first line. Shit. No, I don't need the fungal
Hate it.
cord to fucking exist any longer.
Oh, we're banning crabs?
No, no, I'm just happy we still have whales.
Hey, I like that Ninesdale lore.
I just don't like them.
What is this link? I love
I
this.
really want.
Thank
I gotta hit
you.
this. I really want it. What
It's so good. It's so good.
the man whales? The man whales.
Okay.
No, Wednesday.
I know exactly what art you would use for Mayor Silverberg, too.
Send it to me. I'll add him as an NPC.
It's literally there is a Magic the Gathering card where it is a mayor who turns into a werewolf.
Ah.
Yes, the mayor wolf.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
So there's that for you. If you guys have articles that you want to write of things happening out in the world, please let me know, because very obviously I'm having a little bit of trouble. Just like I want to do 3 articles every week, but it's not. There's not always something interesting. So sometimes I just have to make something up or do a funny reference, as the case may
That's
be.
hilarious.
Whales. We demand whales.
Yes, we need them.
I'm just glad we know what the fuck's going on in Ninedales. They're having a civil rights movement for the lycanthropes.
Yep. That's a Tika idea. You can thank her for that.
Pretty good.
Also, I hate to
I
say
want to
this.
see fucking Glenn Greymane in his dumb fucking suit.
Oh, I
But
didn't
less
even
racist,
think of
maybe.
Gen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I immediately thought of Gen.
There's the Google search for all the different arts for that
It-
card
it's
set.
it's again if we didn't want to fix his problems with the wall, I think
Yes.
the good Gen Greymane, Gen Whitemane, Gen White.
I
Gen
just
White.
love how
Um,
that character was named Gen Greymane before Worgen even existed. Like, that's such a werewolf name, but it's completely
Imagine being
unrelated.
him when you're like 25 and you have brown hair or something. It's like, hey, Greymane.
Yeah.
It's like, this will be a good thing when I'm 60.
You wouldn't happen to be a werewolf, are you? It's like, what? What are werewolves?
yeah,
Werewolf?
werewolves hadn't been
Yeah,
invented
well,
yet.
their castle.
I mean, technically they were invented by those damn elves, but we don't have to
I'm
worry about that.
re-
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm super afraid of this fungal court news. I
You,
do not need the fungal court to exist again.
I
I
mean,
still
this
have
this is
nightmares.
the past as we're working on getting rid of them. So
That's already been fixed. Don't worry
yeah,
about
like we've already taken
You
care of
say
them.
that.
I still have nightmares.
I mean, I yeah, well,
I mean, you guys defeated Princess Chitrin, which is in the past, even for you guys in game. But Prince Mysel was never defeated.
Never.
oh,
That's the
oh,
The
thing.
I
Fungal
forgot.
Empress
Yeah, we
was
never
was
actually
not.
finished that quest line.
Oh
Never
yeah, we
finished the
just
quest.
just
Like
built
during the
watchtowers.
wrap up of Westgate, you never finished the fungal court off.
No.
No.
Nope.
I mean, that was the Arc 1 of Westgate. It was Kalandi God.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see more of that in the future.
I hope
Um,
not. I'll take the
let's see.
collective over the fungal
J-
court.
Jira is,
Man,
I think,
looking at the map, I realized we needed the trope of like fantasy Asia. We don't have that yet. Gotta put it somewhere.
We need Grand Cathay.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
East.
it's kind of
The
what I
mystical
figured.
East.
Well, no, that's the Grey Corp. That's an elf thing. But yeah, we have Ni Shura, but that's Japan. It's not like Asia.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
China.
Put the Asia in the South, except it's Dragonborn, and yeah, I guess it is Asia.
You need
Alright,
like
that's
you
fine.
need you need a
The
fantasy
Asians in the
China.
South.
You need a fantasy China. You need a fantasy like India.
The sad thing is, I have a good concept for what I like, a non-Orientalist but still fantasy like China thing, but I want to use it for my own world and don't want to put it into this one.
Mm.
Mine. It's
Quite a
mine.
coward.
It's all mine.
All right, keep
My
your secrets.
precious.
Yeah. It's and
Um,
the worst part is it's not even like a focal point of the other world. It's just like window dressing on the side. So as long as nobody gives me shit about it, I can always reuse it. Yeah, but just like a
Ideas have never been
The only
reused
shit I will
throughout
ever
history.
give you for is Cho'Gall. That's
yeah.
it.
That was so good, Vintark. No, but I always like the idea of a like the like
Really build
A
military.
Chinese-esque nation, but it's led by like clockwork. Like I always like the idea of like clockwork creatures, just sort of shaped, sort of like in more
mhm.
Asian things. And the reason they're able to do this is they have forests where trees grow of metal, so that the clockwork that usually wears down just slowly grows back because it's naturally harvesting. So they have like brasswood stuff. They just have a bunch of artificers and contraptions and stuff like that.
I mean, there's the whole thing
Modron
with
could
like
be
terracotta
Modron
and
could be
clay
Druid.
stuff.
Yeah, like kind of if you took the Mogu, but they weren't just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like what they did for Kaladesh.
Yes, kind of, but Asian, but Chinese themed instead of Asian themed. Although you're
It
gonna
was
find a lot more
Indian
art
themed.
of the Indian themed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right. You guys also do get a letter, an actual letter here. I'll show it to you. From a certain Kasani professor.
He said bees.
yeah. No, I remember.
This is Honeyword is where the dragon was, right?
Yep.
Doing his
Yep.
experiments.
Yep.
And bee stuff.
Oh, I would probably like as soon as I hear that, I would
Oh
write a letter back and
God, no!
just like explain a little bit about the about Noctum and what I know of the lady, and just to make your increase safer and to keep you from disturbing our allies who are the owners of that territory. Here is what little I know. Here is Castle Noctum. If you wish to inquire about necromantic energy in the area, please contact
I
Archduchess Kembra
I
and our
would I would actually regarding the honey and uses would send Maxine.
we're going to send Maxine after we take Bateau and all that stuff. I'm probably going to recommend we send her to Noctum anyways, just to. That's a perfect place to raise dead, is in Noctum, and just have that be
Mm-hmm.
sort of a recruitment center for forces. We also need long term, like after we take Bateau, the Noctum forces are probably going to need to break away to help defend Noctum, because our grace period that we bought by killing that one guy who could easily windwalk troops is probably getting coming to an end. So there's going to need to be troops to protect our western flank, uh, and just make sure that no Alvarez troops can move through the swamp safely. It's like the
Oh,
swamp hunters and the Wraith clan and some of the undead will
this is
probably need
how
to go
we
back.
get bee people.
There
People.
there are insects in
Beep.
that one
This
keep
is
that
how
we
we get
decided we didn't have
people.
time for.
Not the
Be-
people.
people. It'll be the biggest surprise. It was them all along.
But yeah, I would give the researcher just like a cliff notes what persistence understands, which isn't a lot. About like,
Yeah.
oh yes, they have the lady, which is a local god of necromancy, which is how persistence understands it. Uh, and then just like, yeah, they're at Castle Noctum. Here's an archdruid. Contact information. Just like also write a quick letter of introduction
Okay.
for the Kasani to give them. Just like, yeah, with the emphasis of, I appreciate your research. Thank you very much for getting this to me. Do not rock the boat with these people.
Sure.
It's the underlying tone.
Yeah.
I'll fuck with the bees.
Okay. And on that note, I think that is everything for tonight.
Woo.
Eh,
Those poor kids.
Yeah.
it'll be fine.